They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
MWT, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Global Sim Racing channel. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new races, to seek out new crashes and new race car drivers, to boldly go where no series has gone before. To Interlagos, of course, for the season finale of the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing channel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the tidal influence Countdown to Green, and the series that has reached the far expanses of the universe and has been beautiful to watch all the way. I am your lovable host for this evening, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind himself, and observer of sim racing, Jake Sperry, getting prepared for the final round of the season. Bill Soupzahn is all hands on deck as we prepare to crash land in Brazil. Amjad Yamin shall be beaming Scotty or any other named person into the booth, while directing ship's cameras that were designed by Dougie Beard, our resident lab rat. But Soup, Interlagos can be likened to that of a spaceship ride with the intense nature of the twisting turns. Surely there is no other race that can match this track for flat-out drama on our expedition for races.
I gotcha. Hey, but before we talk about the track, let me remind the viewers that most everything on the Countdown to Green is brought to you thanks to Tidal Influence. They're an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California that restores wetlands, saves and studies endangered species, and educates children about our environment. For more information, go to TidalInfluence.com. Those guys have been with the MWT for a long time. We thank them for their contributions. Located in the city of São Paulo, the racetrack opened in 1940. Its first Formula One event was in 72. It has been the steady host of the Brazilian Grand Prix since 1990. Formerly known as Interlagos, which when translated means between lakes. The track was renamed in 1985 after Carlos Pace, the beloved Brazilian Formula One race driver who died in a plane crash in 77. And speaking of names, almost every corner has a Portuguese tag. And since O me Heusinkveld está sed engaias, which translates to my hovercraft is full of eels, is the extent of my Portuguese. For the sake of our viewers, I'll be using English corner names today, of which there is no shortage. 15 turns packed into 4.3 kilometers of track. That's 2.6 miles for those metrically challenged. This place twists like a drunken snake. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to jump on board and take a lap around Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace.
All right, we've got Amjad Yamin of the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Interlagos. Coming down to turn 1, the Senate S provides a great opportunity for an overtake, but attack and defense can be a complicated affair with the way the track falls away and switches direction. Regardless of the outcome, at the end, you're dumped onto the Curva do Sol, which is flat out in this little MX-5. And this sets you up for the next best place for a pass at the end of the Reta Aposta. This stretch will provide a good draft, allowing you to close in or even get side by side with your opponent. Coming up is the braking for Descida do Lago, and you really want the inside line to have a chance at getting by the driver ahead of you. The car will want to understeer as we head back downhill, and once again, you won't be lifting for a bit as the car slides its way through 5. Drift it back to the left and get the car lined up for Ferradura. This double apexer is fairly fast, meaning it's going to be tough to force a 2-wide situation. I wouldn't really recommend trying to pass here unless you're desperate. Thankfully, there's lots of paved runoff around the outside. Quickly, you're going to get on the brakes for 8, which kicks off the slow, winding technical section of the circuit. Each corner requires you to set the car up for the following one, so don't worry about maximizing the exit as much as where you position your car. These curbs are very wide and flat though, so feel free to use as much as you can. Now we hit the Bico de Pato, which is a decreasing radius hairpin. Light apex this baby, and then swing it across the track immediately for the best line through 11. Once again, the curbing on the outside is usable, so make the best of it for a nice wide entry into Heusinkveld. Every drop of speed you can carry through this turn will pay dividends on your lap time and for the opportunity to pass into 1. Without much power in the engine of the MX-5, this long uphill climb needs you to keep your momentum up. At this point, it's all about minimizing your steering input, or if you've got a competitor sizing you up, positioning your car for defense. Hopefully, you can hold them off in the braking zone, but as we come across the line, you've finished a lap around Interlagos.
The GSRC MX-5 there taking its final trip this season around the asphalt and still as beautiful as ever. But Soup, when it comes to championship racing, none can say that what we have on offer today hasn't been exciting. And although it has been a runaway season, at no point has it ever been easy for our champion.
Certainly not. He's had to fight back from many a mistake, but he's done really well. His four-wheels scare the cockatoos from Kintor East to Yumandu coming in today's grand finale. He has clinched this season's Drivers' Championship, joining the legendary Jan Koemans as the only driver to win the MWT Top Award 3 times. He's finished on the lead lap. If he can finish on the lead lap, he'll join Patrick Fliss as the only driver to have a perfect Ironman season, completing every lap of every race. His plaque for the Wall of Fame is being engraved as we speak. He's won 8 out of 10 races so far this season, earned honorable mention in the Western Australia Yo-Yo Championship and cooks a mean souffle. He is, of course, Sonny Catch Me If You Canchin'. And, oh yeah, there are 9 other names on the graphic. How about notably Richard Moneyworth? He's our top rookie, and Gene Fittis, who is making his top 10 debut. If you're looking for a championship that still is in question, then let me show you the amateur point standings right now. Belgium's Gianni Quintelier has led the AM class much of the season, but some recent misfortune and a possible real-life scheduling conflict for today's grand finale might cost Quintelier the title. Wishing Gianni's girlfriend a very happy birthday are Lauren Murray and Kip Hairflick Stevens. The Scot and Brit are separated by a single point, and if the point leader prioritizes love before sim racing, one of those two will be the AM Championship. The Sheriff Jordy Fike is up 2 spots, finding himself on the prize left side of the graphic for the first time this season. Veteran Derek Holland sits in 5th. And breaking news, Gianni's better half will be blowing out the candles without her boyfriend singing, because Quintelier has his priorities straight. Quintelier is racing. So Jake, the big championship is not in contestation, but the AM crown has not been fitted for the champion yet, and the perfect Ironman, there's still a chance that can be claimed as well. So not to mention double points, which could shake stuff up throughout the standings.
Priorities, Gianni. Either you want a girlfriend, the amateur championship, or a few spareys to go on your mantle. Take your pick. But Soup, for this season at least, the well has begun to dry up, and the last bucket of rules in the well are being lifted out.
Yeah, you know, to drill down a little bit on that Quintelier thing, I think he's playing the long game. Yeah, he may burn a few points right now, not showing up for the birthday, but honestly, isn't he going to be more attractive if he can say, hey, honey, you're dating the amateur champion of the MWT? I think that probably plays out in the long run. Let's go ahead and talk about the schedule now. If you're a long-time viewer, you got to pay attention because things are a little different for this grand finale. This, of course, is race 12 of 12, but the points are double, and there is no show compensation. You're not going to have it offered for the grand finale. So in the past, because there is no show compensation, drivers would try to get some points if they couldn't get to their racing rigs by trying to race with their phone or some other convoluted way of doing stuff, which really got kind of screwy. So to discourage that, everybody who raced at least once during the season is getting 50 start and park points. That way you don't have to do anything weird to try to score some points. To make such an effort pointless, that's what they've done that. Now, setups. They are open, but because of the finale is not only double points, but double distance, 2 pit stops today if needed. Race distance, 49 laps. It's a long one. No fast repairs. And the incident cap. You know, the miles per incident standings, that's been shut down for the season. They don't use it for these for the grand finale. So I can report that Lauren Murray, Joe McDonald, and Tripp Smith went 1, 2, 3 in that. Jake?
Yep, and that's going to be very, very crucial for them. The weather, though, as qualifying is currently underway. Well, that one is going to be interesting because it is a scorcher here in Brazil. The track, in terms of degrees C, that's 44. That is probably about as hot as I've ever seen a track, and it's probably going to be that the tyres are melting before they even make it to turn number 4. It's also going to be a difficult one because we've got gusting winds coming in from the west at 15 kilometers an hour. It's going to be difficult at this circuit, especially with a lot of elevation changes. You're going to see at certain areas of the circuit, this track is going to be difficult to manage from time to time. But as we said, 2 laps of qualifying to get underway here for the final round of the season. And currently, there's a rolling Estonian up at the top. Team Bushfinks Racing, Iru Nom, he's got a margin of about 0.05 of a second, Sue.
Always nice to see. He's going to put the pressure on Sonny. I want to put the cameras on a longtime member of the MWT, Dexter Castro. He hasn't raced all season. He's the only driver to have raced. We're not sure what Dexter's up to there. He's just kind of parking the car, maybe having some lunch. He's the only driver to have raced at least once in every one of the previous 13 seasons, making his appearance today. Dexter, notorious for procrastinating, going to keep that streak alive by showing up for the grand finale. Now he's got the car race rolling there. Of course, he's got the familiar 49 Motorsports on there. Dexter, good to see that streak alive as it goes to 14 seasons now.
49 Motorsports, 49 laps worth of racing today. Will the stars align for Dexter Castro? Well, if he has a Taco Bell like I've had for my lunch, I assume he'll be very well. But of course, other fast food chains are available as he runs very wide coming off there of Junsao, their left-hander. You're going to be using English names today, Soup. However, I will like my flair, my continental flair. I'm going to take my hand at Portuguese.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. That's that way we're on multilingual here today. How about we look at Gene Fittis? We're looking at George Willemsen right now. Gene Fittis out there. 5th in qualifying so far, racing down under from New Zealand. Now, I don't believe he is an AMS driver yet, and it's hard not to be an AMS driver. Asbury Motorsports, as there's so many, but I believe Kanchan is, Swanky is, and Pajan is at least 3 of the top 5.
Bay State Hammer, of course, one. Kanchan goes to pole, though. Talk of the devil, asking you shall deliver. You can catch me if you Kanchan, but you have to Kanchan if you can. That's a 153.5. That's pole for the moment, and Iru Nom did not improve on his lap time. He has to be careful. Lord Murray, though, he's got to challenge Gianni Quintelier, who's up in 6th position, having a storming qualifying. We'll see what Murray can bring to the table. Nothing to improve. It was a 56.2. It was not brilliant at all. And, well, it's looking for the times. It's looking for opportunities. Someone that is on the move will be money. Richard Worth. And Worth right now, well, he hasn't shown too much here, but he's up onto the 3rd row, position number 5. And I think here, Soup, Richard Worth, he likes a late qualifying lap. He now needs to find half a second.
Our top rookie, he has been very impressive as of late. Always quick, early, not able to get the results that his pace would indicate. Notoriously a faster qualifier than he is a finisher. You know, we talked about that amateur championship. The way that they score it is basically against the entire field. So as many cars as you can put between you and your amateur competitor, the better. Quintelier, boy, talk about pressure. How about this? You upset your girlfriend. Could you imagine if he has an early out and not only upsets the girlfriend, but gets upset in the race as well? This is uncharted territory.
Yeah, and innuendos aside as well there, Soup, I think, in that situation too. An early out would not be the best idea for the driver, Gianni Quintelier. But Quintelier has done all his laps. He'll be continuing to potter around the circuit. Someone who is looking, though, to set a lap time is Sarah Dove. Now, Sarah's been struggling a little bit. She had some good runs yesterday in what was going to be the AOR Formula Renault series, but hasn't set a lap time as of yet, and she's not going to get around to finish the other lap that she has available to her. So this is her one and only opportunity here at the very long 1 minute 53 lap time circuit. So we'll see what sort of time she can put across the line. The answer is going to be a 154.9. Look at that, top 10, just beautiful.
There you go. I'm looking at a top 10 from her. I think she has the chops to keep the car clean. It's going to be a long race. People are going to lose concentration. She's notoriously, when she gets her rhythm down, she is very good at bringing the car home. Let's see if she can grab herself the top 10. That would really upset Jeroen Ursum, who had to go like 400 races before he finally got his first top 10 in this series. Picking it up this time of the season, last season, I believe. He picked it up at the very end in the grand finale. Hey, how about Joe McDonald? That's a good car, huh?
He had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, but Joe McDonald here has done a 56.8. He's got a fantastic car. He's in 17th position. Coming to the line, though, was Richard Worth, was Neil Bamber, but Bamber's down in on the lane. I'm going to call it here, apart from Dexter Castro. He's got 30 seconds to get through Junsao, which is known as Junction, and then up the hill to get to the line. It's going to be a chase, but he's pushing really hard to try and make this work for him. And, well, I don't blame him. There's 22 drivers, a traditional Formula One field, and, well, we've seen people like Jordi Fike, the Sheriff, in and around. I don't think he's in this race today, so we're going to have no chance for the Sheriff to shout that is that Glock. But you look at Dexter Castro now trying to make it to the line. Can he go any quicker? He just gets his lap in. 55-1 up into P12. The grid is as follows. Sonny Kanchin then pole position, 153.5, but endurance race pole means next to nothing. Irunon will start from second with Travis Schwenke in third. Marcelo Pajnan makes it 3 Asbury cars in the top 4 with Richard Worth in 5th and Gene Finnis there in 6th position. Gianni Quintelier and the Bay State Hammer Tom Ratchey makes 8. Nick Thyssen for the Gathering of Tweakers in 9th. And Sarah Dove representing Berlin Simsport.
Of an amateur, a third amateur, Jupe Willemsen in 11th position. Dexter Castle, we talked about, gets in there in 20. And the Bakers does a spot, series veteran Derek Holland. Hey, Bambi is here, making his first appearance all year. Neil Bamber, we see him a lot in the Absolute Beginner Series. He's in 14th spot, just ahead of Robert Valinga. Max Wright in 16th spot. Lauren Murray, our miles per incident champion, in 17th. Joe McDonald behind him. Kip Hairflick Stevens, boy, he's got a long way to go if he's going to get that amateur championship back in 19th. Lots of points to make up. Jeroen Ursum, who's notoriously doing well in the SCCS, which you'll see in about an hour here on GSRC. He sits in 20th. 21st, George Dankirk in the double duck spot. Boss Slob. Watch out for Slob. If he actually races, he'll be fast.
Yeah, Baz Slob is one of those drivers who actually went from amateur to pro midway through the season, so keep an eye on Baz Slob. He is the former unluckiest man in sim racing. That title has been ousted now by Evolution Racing team driver Riley Preston. But that's another point, another bit of contention for another day. You'll see that the front four grid positions on the grid, they are behind the start, well, in front of the start-finish line. They're not going to be used here for the gridding process. Sonny Kanchin will be on the outside heading to turn number 1, but most crucially, it's uphill for these drivers at the front of the grid. For your drivers 4, 5 back, they've got a downhill start, though, to get themselves going. They're going to have a better chance of having a better launch in towards turn number 1, and that's where you sometimes see a lot of difficulty. Engine notes rise, though, here for the final time this season. Let's get ourselves underway then. An hour and a half's worth of racing. 49 laps is underway, and Sonny Kanchin makes a very good start. Irunon will have no chance of really attacking on the run in towards turn number 1, the Senna S, as there's a little look there from Marcelo Pajnan that doesn't quite materialize into the left-hander. Are we all clean, as we traditionally are here in MWT? The answer is absolutely. You bet we're all clean, and they're all through. No real worries, no real issues. Side by side, Thyssen tried to go with Tom Ratchey. That didn't work. Side by side behind Weilinger and Willemsen.
They get it all sorted out. 22 drivers. We'll keep an eye on Boss Slob right now. It is really bunched up at the back. Looking there at Jeroen Ursum in a mess with Kip Stevens. These guys are getting sorted out, but it's okay so far.
It's all it needs to be as Lauren Murray scraps it out with Max Wright going wide as the driver then of Jeroen Ursum as he looks to try and get it back up onto circuit. He does so. It's all fine and dandy though, and at the front it's all fine and dandy for Sonny Kanchin. He knows that he's got 2 teammates behind him that will back him up in Schwenke and Pajnan, especially with the fact that you got Irunon, who has always been the big challenger, looking to try and get himself in the play, getting himself in the money as it were, as he looks to try and continue on this charge to make things work. Behind that, though, we've got a battle of Jörg Dankert going at it here with Joe McDonald. And McDonald easily takes the position for now, but Dankert will look to try and come straight back at it on the brakes into the right-hander. Outside track taking then at the Pinarino. Doesn't quite work for now as Joe McDonald holds on.
We talked about keeping an eye on Boss Slob. He started in 22nd. We're halfway through the first lap. He's already picked up 6 positions, up to 16th.
Well, that's Bashlob for you. He definitely knows how to take positions and how to make it very, very apparent, that how you make things done. But the draft is going to be so key today. Irunom is just going to sit and is going to wait and is going to decide, well, I want to make a move on my terms, not yours. But he's got to be careful here because Schwenke will want to make the move, put another Asbury machine up in amongst the pigeons on the brakes into the left-hander of the Center S. No chance. The prime overtaking opportunity, certainly for all these drivers here, as lap 1 of 49 gets completed without any worries at all. Bashlob on the move again, though. He's got Derek Holland now he wants to attack. He's trying to up and under. That won't work, but he'll now have this opportunity to really set this run up through the long Curva de Sol on the run to the Desquita de Lago.
Holland, a veteran of the series, he also understands who he's racing. I would be surprised if Derek puts up much of this fight. He knows Boss is very, very fast. Our front train goes all the way back to 7th, and who's the caboose in that train? Well, honey, happy birthday to you. It is your boyfriend, Gianni Quintelier, hanging on to the back of Gene Fittis.
Well, that's no mean feat, so Gianni will want to try and stay on this leading train as much as he possibly can. Gianni knows that if he stays where he is, he knows he can't be beaten, so he'll look to drive a clean race out of trouble, and he will look to try and bring his machine back home. But he will be chased by Sarah Dove, who is up in 10th position, so 3 positions only the difference between them. I'll tell you something right now, the top 10 have not changed positions at all during this event. Neil Bamber is the first driver who's made moves. He's +3 for the day. 11 of the top 12 drivers haven't moved either, because Dexter Castro is just sitting and waiting.
Yeah, I don't know if he's sitting and waiting or if he's the cork in the bottle, because, well, actually, Neil Bamber is the cork in the bottle, racing 11th. The top 10, like you said, all racing in nice single file. Not the case back here. Castro looking, doing everything he can to get around Bamber, but he's got a mirror full of Robert Belinga right behind him.
Do you need to go to a doctor for that or something?
Yeah, a mirror full? Yeah. An ointment for you.
You got an ointment for a Weilinger, okay. So Weilinger right now in the 4.56 looking to chase down Castro, but Castro will close the gap down to Neil Bamber in the Nomad Sim Racing machine, looking down to the inside, then tries Castro, but he thought better of it. Gap was left open, so he had the opportunity, but it didn't quite function the way that he would have wanted it to, as contrasting lines out to the Curva de Sol for the likes of Michelo Pajnan, who is just looking to maybe cool down that engine a little bit. Temperatures are massively hot, and engine management today is going to be difficult. Dexter Castro, though, look at this, side by side. He's wanting to scrap it out with Bambi, and I think he's going to try and make it happen on the brakes. He just about does.
Lingler wants a little bit of that, too, as Bamber's going to get caught up on the outside. Robert moving up into the 12th position.
Well, that's a lovely move there from Robert Weilinger, and, well, he's got to be careful that he's not freight-trained here, is Bamber, because Willemsen, the Gathering of Tweakers man, wanted to try and make a move. Doesn't happen into Ferradura, the horseshoe, right-hander. Isn't quite there, didn't quite work out the way he wanted it to, as they get on the brakes, as they head to La Laranjina, and it's not quite what it's wanted. Then in through the Pinarino, heading to the Bico de Pato. And, well, Willemsen right all over it. Should try and look for the inside. Defensive track taken, though. And it's Bamber on defensive duties, and he will be falling backwards and backwards more.
Nice job on the Portuguese, Jake. I like that. I'm going with Small Pine and Duckbill there at the 10th. Actually, I like Cyrano de Bergerac for the Duckbill, but they won't go with that one, so we'll stick with Duckbill.
Oh, soup. As wide goes Bamber through Junshao, the junction. Or Junsao, shall I say here, as Willemsen is going to get the run then as they head up the hill. Should be comfortable, should be plain sailing here, as he will have the inside line heading towards turn number 1 as he heads through the Arquibancadas. Here, these left-hand small little kinks, the Desquita boxes as well. And look at this then. Bashlob is going to try and use Willemsen as a pick here on Neil Bamber, and they're going to go almost 3 wide here on the run in towards turn number 1. Schlob will want to be the last of the late breakers. He doesn't manage it, but he uses Willemsen to try and go down the inside. Bamber will try and come back then on the cut back through the center S's of turn 2. Schlob, though, will look to try and use the outside track, cut in under and try and get a little bit more, and he has the opportunity, but behind, watch out, Derek Holland may come back at him.
Slob remind me of a guy in a supermarket trying to pick which checker is going to be the fastest. He's trying to figure out which guy am I going to tuck in behind. Is it going to be Bamber? Is it going to be Willemsen? In the end, he has to settle behind all of them right now. But now he makes the move on the inside of Bamber. Bamber gets a little bit off into the dirt. He's going to lose momentum. I think the preferred position now is going to go to Slob. Can he close the deal?
Well, I think he potentially can, but at Ferradura, the double apex right-hander, it's so difficult if you're stuck on the outside. They touch, and well, it's held by both of them. Great save. Holland got out of the gas. That's going to allow an opportunity then for the driver of, I believe, Max Wright to dive one down the inside, steal the position away. Baz Schlopp now driving as if it's a 90s video, a 90s television show called Supermarket Sweep. He's got the trolley, he's loading everything in it, and he's driving it away.
Holland must have heard me talking about how he knew he was racing. He was going to surrender the position. Not the case, as Derek fought really hard to keep Slav back. He's up to 15th now.
And what's worth talking about at the front of this field is that we haven't seen those moves. And the reason why is because this is a strategy game. This is a long race. And if you're a Nick Thiessen or a Tom Ratji, you're trying everything to hold on to the driver of Gianni Quintelier at the front. The top 9 are split by 4 seconds. Sarah Dove is the only driver outside of the top 9 train in 10th position, 6 seconds back then from your race leader, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. But you are going to see here drivers starting to try and pick and choose their moment to dive down onto the lane here on lap 5, because we got a 2-stop racing offering. So that's going to be 50 divided by 3. We're looking at a pit stop maybe around lap 15 of this event here, Soup.
I would think so, although they can run it long. They can do a long one and then another long one, do a splash and go. I think it really depends how you're feeling right now. I guess everyone's going to be happy to tuck in behind Katchen and just ride in that train. It's really a tale of two cities, as you have the long string up in front that goes all the way back to Quintelier that is very well behaved. Quintelier kind of a stepping stone for Tom Ratji in 8th, and Nick Thiessen, who trying to get in the draft, see if they can get up into that front train as well. Then it is a huge gap all the way back before you get to Dove and the rest of the guys who have been really aggressive.
I didn't know you studied at the Fernando Alonso School of Staying Huge, so I'll give you credit for that. You understand your G2 esports. Max Wright, though, a man looking to apply pressure. Neil Bamber, the man going just backwards and a bit more backwards here as they get on the brakes. The 2 Englishmen looking to dive one down the inside at Ladanhina. Doesn't quite work as they head now into the Pinarino outside track. So difficult for the driver of Max Wright to make it happen. And again, I think Bamber's going to have to go defensive here into the Bico de Pato. And I think Holland may be trying to get a move down the inside. He had a nose, but it was all it was. They now head to the Merhulo left-hander. This down the hill left-hander, one of the great corners of racing. And he gets a good run, but he's just caught out, almost washed out to dry as if you're on an oval banking there, Soup. Just didn't have anything to work with.
These guys are really putting on the show as we ride on board with Derek Holland right now. We don't need to go there, but I can report that Jeroen Ursum has got around George Dankert Erskine up to the blackjack position. Dankert now in the double duck spot. Let's watch, though. Here it comes. Here comes the pass.
Dexter Castro as well, looking to try and get the pass on Sarah Dove. And, well, it's not quite happening just yet. It's got to be a long way around. And, well, he'll try and go late on the brakes, hold the inside for the second part of the apex then as they head through the left-hander. But Dove's not giving this one up. Dove has the inside line as she heads over to the left-hander, and that's going to instantly allow Weilinger an opportunity to go down the inside. Well, you don't need a finger to try and get through. You can have a whole hand to say that's your gap. Well, he's just going to back out of this one. Wasn't confident was Weilinger to really make that move. The toe was in play for Dexter Castro, so Weilinger very happy to sit and wait. Murray and Bamber now, the battle. Bamber just going backwards, little bit of door rubbing between the pair of them, and Lord Murray just going to send you right to the back of the train. Neil Bamber is having a real big struggle today.
Before we left, we're going to look at the replay. Before we left to look at the Castro-Dove battle, remember, Bamber was up in the leading this train in 15th position. Look at this. You can always see the damage on Bamber's car. And he gets a little bit more as now he drops back to this 4-car battle.
And Sarah Dove running into it. She's in the 177. Stops then at the left-hander. And that's very bizarre because that's not an incident. There was no contact. Just completely lost the back end. Just tried to get that one stopped, parked on the apex, and that looks like a hardware issue. That looks like Sarah Dove is out of the event there, Sue.
Yeah, the car just, I got to think it's hardware. She was right in front of Dexter Castro. Probably made Dexter's heart skip a beat.
Yeah. I'm not going to deny that as we look at the front of the field. Sonny Kanchan now looking to play aggressor here with Iunom as, again, Schwenke closes the door. And, well, they all get on the brakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers then all in a line with Gianni Quintelle now starting to fall backwards into the clutches of Ratji and Thyssen. There's a reason why they're classed as pro drivers, because Quintelle, yes, he may have the pace to stick it with Gene Fiddis, but you've got to have the consistency to be able to stick there too. If you start dropping outside that 1 second window, if they're not battling in front of you, you know you can't close up.
I think the best thing for Quintelle is that Kanchan knows he's not going anywhere. Kanchan, if he wants to run hot laps, which he always seems to run fast anyway, but really, if he races at 100%, he's not going to leave Errol Num behind. Right now, those boys behind him are happy to let Kanchan burn the fuel.
And we've just seen a move as well. Bas Schlob's got through on Gert Willemsen, so Bas Schlob is now officially plus 10. That was down into the Desquita de Lago, turn 4, out on circuit. As easy as you like there, Soup. Just down the inside, Willemsen knew he had his limit, so respected them and made sure that he used them to full effect.
We're going to look at the replay, and it's only 1 second for him to get up to the guys in front of him right now, so he's on the move. Slob in the yellow car.
And well, we slightly missed that one, so we're going to get a second take of this one. Bas Schlob then gets down to the inside on the brakes. It's about as textbook as you possibly look at as we take aerial coverage from it. That was pretty easy there, Soup.
Yeah, he is... I have to go down and see. Did he actually put in a qualifying time? He did not. So either he wasn't able to actually get out there or he didn't put in a clean lap. But now the point is he's only, about 7-8 car lengths behind Robert Willinga. And right ahead of them is Dexter Castro. So here he comes.
Yeah, and when he gets to Dexter Castro, he will have a full 7-second gap to try and chase down the leaders. And I don't think he'll be able to make that happen at all. So he'll have to be careful. Look at this, though.
Ratchi and Thiessen. Ratchi gets around. These guys are fighting. Ratchi able to head that off. He's got to be careful. If these guys fight too much, they're going to lose contact with Quintelle.
That's going to be very crucial as Dexter Castro and Robert Weilinger also get into a little bit of a scrap of their own. So 2 little battles to look at. But look at Thyssen here. 2 tires on the grass. Ryan Hunter-Ray would be proud of him as he looks to try and squeeze his way through the gap. The Bay State Hammer will not take any prisoners on the outside. Still holds him on the outside, but crucially enough, if Nick Thyssen can hold that outside line, he may have the inside for Ferradura, the double right-hander. Then Thyssen just about has a nose down the inside. He will sniff his way to that inside and look to make it happen. He gets caught up all over the curb and they get close together. No room here from the Bay State Hammer. He is trying to pinch his man at every given moment. Still pinching, still pinching. They get themselves to the left-hander of the Pinarino, and this one surely now is the driver of Tom Ratchi. But look at the gap, Sue.
Boy, he showed Thyssen a lot of trust, and Thyssen now trying to make the move on the outside. He really, Ratchi I'm talking about, left him absolutely just enough room on the inside. Nick was able to keep the car in there tight. Woo.
Sometimes a little less. Look at this, left-hander of Majulo, and you can see now running a little bit wide there was Nick Thyssen as they get on the brakes into the left-hander of Jun Sao. Doesn't quite happen, but they both take a little bit of a check wide, as now it is firmly going to be a train of 7 at the front. And if you're in the middle of this train, if you happen to be a Michele Pagnan, if you happen to be a Richard Worth or a Gene Fiddis, you sit, you wait, you save fuel, you play the fuel game, and you hope Sonny Kanchan runs out.
Yep, where are you going? I mean, what's the position mean right now? Nothing. Just sit back there, put in the miles.
And Soup, I believe that the last time we tried to have a conversation about Sonny and his fuel-saving methods, I believe you had to hand in a P45 form.
Yes, I am done with that now. I've been called Chicken Little, but the sky is falling. He's running out of gas. He's running out of gas. Nope, I've learned my lesson when it comes to Sonny. Errol Num, for that matter, as well. What's interesting is the qualifying times between Num and Ketchen. Maybe what Num might do, might think, maybe I'll come out of this. It's a small field. I'll duck out. Maybe I can run some laps faster by myself than Ketchen can. So that might be something to watch Errol do.
Yep, that's certainly going to be the case. I've just been keeping an eye, though, on Sonny Kanchan's race lap times here, and he's done a 1:53.6, and he's already losing himself a lot of time. He's settled into this rhythm of 54.4s, 54.5s, so he's already a second slower than what he was on his initial lap time. So Sonny really is feeling the pressure, and I think he's actually backing up this field potentially, the way that he's driving this vehicle. And that may be part of the reason why his fuel saving is so good, because he's not running at 100%.
That's why I think one of these guys in the train might be able to sneak off without Sonny realizing that they did it. Maybe run some faster laps by themselves, and Sonny wouldn't be aware of it. You know, you got Sonny up there. He is going to be our 3-time champion. You have Errol Num, who is the defending champion. So we have 2 champions of this series here today. But there's a third one. Yes, Amjad Yaman is in the director's chair. He won this back in Season 10. Probably one of the highlights of his career. And I give him a little backhanded compliment here as he won the championship without winning a race. He knew it was coming.
Oh, he's gone to the Alex Simpson school of that's fantastic then. So Amjad Yaman, a great champion, the personification of Keke Rosberg. I think we can definitely say that much. So Weilinger, let's keep an eye on him. He's on the attack then with Dexter Castro just in front, and we've seen Weilinger just back out of moves, not be comfortable enough to really go on the offense here, but has struggled from time to time to really make a move telling. And again, just going to sit back out. Bashlob will want to make this move sooner rather than later. It's worth noting it's 3 crucial packs here as we got Holland versus Wright, and Wright on the outside. Well, the price may be right, almost contact between them, and Max Wright there not able to make the move on Derek Holland.
Holland covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Wright trying to make the move on the top side. Couldn't get it done. Great racing. Now, right behind him, that's Murray and Bamber. Remember, Bamber was at the front of this train. He's fallen back. Great 4-car race going on for 14th.
Well, you're going to see here Bamber thinking about making that move into the Desquita de Lago. Doesn't work out, but the driver there of Law Murray, he knows that he's got to be taking positions. He's not got the pace to take the positions. He's now probably relying on a little bit of misfortune for Mr. Quintelier, that he gets himself into a bit of an issue. Gene Fiddes runs a little bit wide there coming out of the Pinarino. Into the Bica de Pato he comes along the slowest corner on the circuit. And when you start seeing small little mistakes that don't mean much, someone like Gene Fiddes, you know, Gene is going to just sit there and do his job. He's just going to sit, he's going to wait, he's going to save fuel, he's going to hope he has some pace later on, and he's going to try and run for the hills as he runs very wide coming out of Junsao again. That's all it needs to be. And remember, when it comes to the rules as well, you can't afford to be having too many incidents. That time penalty comes into mind, and a lot of people has to be very, very careful here, Sue.
Yeah, this is the kind of track where you can really steal some time by cheating a bit. There's also several race-specific rules where they want you to stay on the gray part of the pavement. Don't get out into the painted section and start playing around with that kind of nonsense. You know, you talked about it, Jake, but on my timing and scoring, my grid and my race positions are right next to each other, and they are perfectly matched up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a single position out of any different from how they qualified.
They know their place, in the words of the great legend of comedy, Ronnie Corbett. But Bashlob, though, he's looking at Weilinger. Weilinger's looking at Dexter Castro. They're all looking at each other, and someone's got to make the move. So Weilinger's going to force the initiative then by going down to the inside. Bashlob, again, checking the aisles, hoping that he's found a nice cashier at the tills. He's not going to be able to make anything happen. Weilinger with the pinch, though, easily takes the position away from Dexter Castro. Castro then will be caught a little bit napping down on the outside because Bashlob's going to steal the inside away with much superior overspeed, and it looks very similar, almost eerily similar to what happened with Neil Bamber as Willemsen now looks to try and go on the aggressive on the outside. He's going to try and go for the up and under. That one doesn't quite work out.
That looks like some American short track racing where you get stuck on the high side and you start to get freight trains. So Castro loses 2 spots and another position for Boslov up to 11th. His next one on the hit list, Robert Wilenga. But after that, he's got a long way to go. It's 10 seconds to get up to the next guys.
Well, that just shows you how hard they're battling here as Bashlob will look to try and take Weilinger. I'm not sure how quick Weilinger's going to be in terms of his 1-lap pace, but he will certainly try here. He'll certainly try to gain some positions. Keep an eye, though, on Travis Schwenke. Dory may just keep swimming for now, but Dory has had 4 or 5 different opportunities to get past Irunom. And if Asprey wanted to play this properly, they'd put as many people as possible in between Schwenke and Nom, because team orders, they may just be a thing. You'd rather battle it out with a teammate than you would from someone else.
My dad used to call that hospice racing, when you're out there racing amongst loved ones. Right now, the only guy who doesn't really belong catching in there for Bushfink. Otherwise, you got the Asbury Motorsports in 1st, 3rd, and 4th.
And well, here we go. Bashlob makes the move. Easy, comfy into turn number 1. Willemsen also makes the move as well. So That one is about as easy as you're ever going to see it. 2 overtakes in the blink of an eye. Jack Willemsen moves up then into position number 12 and put in the top 10, Bas Schlob.
And Slob flashing his lights a little bit as he goes by. Says, see you later, guys. I got more guys to run down now. Let's give you that interval from Ratchy back to Slob. It's, well, give it 10 flat.
Give it 10 flat. You catch me in the middle of a drink there, Soup. So thank you very much in that respect. But I think that with Bas Schlob, I think he's going to struggle now to catch Thyssen and Ratji. His times have been 156s. You look at the Bay State Hammer, even though he is looking to try and harass Nick Thyssen, they're still doing nice 54s, 55s. I don't see a way that's going to be chased down. In fact, Gianni Quintelier has to be the man under pressure. The gap was a second almost when they last crossed the line. And Quintelier is under pressure from being gapped. Needs to see a little bit more hustle here from these drivers in front.
Let's go way back to this battle for 18th position. It was a 2-car battle, and now joining it is Jeroen Ursum. Let's take a quick peek at Jeroen Ursum. If he's racing the My Little Jakey car today, no, he's in the My Little Pony car. Okay, sometimes he's in the My Little Jakey car, giving tribute. I wouldn't mind a My Little Soupy car sometime, would be fine. But right now, this battle between Stevens, McDonald, and Ursum. Stevens, Jake, we didn't think he was even going to race.
No, he turned up fashionably late to the party, and well, he certainly has proven that he's got some ability to keep a vehicle on the island, but he hasn't got enough ability, it seems, right now to really go into battle. But Max Rice in the 85 has gone around. That's just after Jinsao, and well, that is being far too aggressive on the corner exit, getting those tyres on the grass. Goodbye, round you go, see you later, and I'll have your positions in the mail.
He was that part of that 4-car battle that included Bamber, Holland, and Murray. Well, now it's down to 3 cars. Hey, take a look, though. If we're looking at 15th position, drop back 1 car, not position. 1 car. Look who's back. Sarah Dove. She's a lap down, though, racing in 22nd. Good to see her out here.
Yeah, it is very good, as she is a little bit occupied at this stage with Murray, Holland, and Bamber. So doesn't have that to make a move. But at the end of the day, 1 lap certainly could prove to be all the difference. So it must have been something like a hardware issue to put her out of the race and then put herself back into it again. So turning things off and on again, arguably the best strategy when it comes to engineering.
Being 1 lap down, I guess she was hoping that there would have the lucky dog rule in the series, or I guess maybe in her case the lucky bird rule would help, but that's not going to happen.
Well, you'd need a caution for that to happen, and so far we've had no retirements in 13 laps. Pit stop window 1. Open for business, I'd say, here on lap number 13. If anybody wants to come in, feel free. Take your pick. Fuel's open. Come take what you want.
Somebody got to take the road less traveled and try to come in and see if they can shake things up. I would think of somebody like maybe Richard Worth, maybe Marcelo Pajan. I guess Pajan doesn't want to leave his friends. I'm not sure if you're going to... I'm not sure if Fittis has the racecraft to beat these guys. We'll see.
Speaking of devil, Irunom jumps, so
there it is.
That's gonna be the one. Knew he didn't want to play that game, so he'll dive down onto the lane. The first driver to do so, the only driver, in fact, to dive down on the lane. Irunom wants to play the early game, and sometimes the early game works out.
Now, what this means is now, this is interesting because Kanchan is smart. He knows all of a sudden where it really didn't matter what type of paces I was running. Now that's not the case for Sonny. He's got to run them like he means them, because that's what Arrow's going to do.
Well, Irunom is always going to run and try and get to the borders and try and take positions quickly as he can. How about this, though? Bamber and Holland going too wide because Law Murray was too wide with Sarah Dove. Will let Sarah Dove unlap herself in the Berlin Sim Sport machine. But look at this. Bamber now looking to go aggressive. And crucially enough, Irunom is ahead of the train, and he will chase down the likes of Castro and Willemsen and Weilinger and Schlob et al. here in this 4-car scrap for the final spot inside the top 10.
Now, also keep in mind that this is a 2-stop race as we ride off of the back there of Castro. Num doesn't necessarily... Oh, we're riding off the back of Num. Oh, boy, that was close. He doesn't necessarily have to take a full load of fuel.
No, he doesn't. That's very true. He can short fill his stints and maybe have a longer final stint. I don't see the benefit of that personally, but that can be done. It's down to driver preference.
Maybe a little faster. Maybe he's out there. Maybe. That car's a little lighter.
That car is lighter, and you're going to see here how he pulls away from the likes of Bamber, Holland, Dove, and Murray here. Irunom's just going to ease his vehicle through the corners. He's just able to carry more corner speed, and I think that being able to master the vehicle, having to deal with a vehicle that has heel and toe as well, is always a difficult factor. Does anybody else, though, dive down onto the lane to try and cover the move of Irunom? The answer is we have 6 no's.
Really important that Num was able to get out ahead. It would have been horrible for him to be stuck behind Bamber and Dove and Holland and those guys. He got those guys cleared quickly. Let's go back to 17th. I love this battle. This is Stevens in here with Ursum. Max Wright now has joined him after he had his little excursion through the Brazilian alfalfa. And then you have Joe McDonald back there. Nice 4-car battle for 17th.
Nice 4-car battle. Jeroen Ursum knows that he needs to try and work on a way to really make things happen. And, well, I'll tell you something very interesting. You look at Irunom, he's now 31.8 seconds behind when he crossed the line last. And remember, he had to hit the brakes and dive onto the lane. He was only 1.8 seconds back, so it's half a minute that you lose inside that stop to Irunom at this stage of the event. Bachelot was under immense pressure as well as Weilinger looked for the inside. Didn't quite happen. Now, if you're sitting there like Dexter Castro is, knowing that you've only got 3 rivals to work with, how desperate are you to keep with the toe?
Oh, if I'm Dexter, I'm happy to be in there. I'm happy to be racing if I'm Dexter Castro, getting a little GSRC screen time. We haven't seen him on many GSRC broadcasts for a long time. He was a staple on this network for a long time. I'm looking at the Aeronum times in relationship to Katchen. They are equal, if not maybe a tick faster. Right now, that interval 31.6 between him and Katchen.
Well, he's trying to run down the Asbury Motorsports machine. Needs to find as much as he can. And remember, through the Curva de Sol, he will have the ability to have more power to be able to put down than what Sonny Katchen will on a tighter track. So, again, we see who dives down onto the lane. 3 non-takers, 4 non-takers, 5 non-takers. And Gianni Quintelier being dropped off the back of the train. Suddenly, 1 point... let's get this right. 2.1 seconds now off, and Quintelier is being broken, and suddenly that train of 6 becomes a train of 5. Suddenly that train of 5 is worrying about a rolling Estonian. Yeah,
he was racing, clutching tooth and claw to try to stay onto the back of Fittis. Can't do it. Fittis much more comfortable on the back of Worth than Quintelier is on the back of Fittis. Now the question is an interval 10 seconds back to that other combo of Ratchi. And what has happened to Thyssen? Did Thyssen pit?
Yeah, Nick Thyssen down on the lane then in the number 15, gathering a Tweaker's machine. Out and away he goes as he was a little bit ahead of the driver of Tom Ratchi as they all look to get themselves going forward. He managed to gap the driver of Ratchi a few laps ago. They were scrapping tooth and nail, so Thyssen will go out and will look to try and be aggressive. Now, with these hot temperatures today, Soup, do you feel that drivers are more inclined to take tyres?
Oh, yeah, they'll take tyres for sure. I would imagine, depending on how they do their fuel, they'll certainly take right side tires one time. If they split it up right, I'm not sure if you could like take 2/3 of a tank and take right sides, 2/3 of the tank and take left sides. Let me give you some interesting numbers though. Thyssen was about 3 seconds faster in his box, a 16.3 to a 16.9 than Errol Num. But get this, Num was actually faster cone to cone. Just goes to show you how good Arrow is on a pit stop.
Oh, you bet. It definitely does go to show you just how good everybody is looking right now. But you think about Sonny Katchen, you think about how he just is able to outrun everybody, and Katchen will go to the fuel tank is dry to try and go through. And this is where the strategy game comes into play, because the long first stint, looking for the splash and dash, I doubt we'll see anyone go as far as lap 24, lap 25, but at least in the next 4 laps, you should be expecting pit stop, Soup.
Yeah, now I can guarantee that none of the guys who are slower that are behind Katchen right now are going to come in before he does, because you'll just get blown away. He'll hot lap you away. Schwenke will stay in. Pajan, basically, when Katchen comes in, that's when everyone else can come in. I wouldn't be surprised. What Errol Num likes to do is drop to the back of the train so he can sneak in and get those laps all by himself.
But by the same point, Irunom knew that at this stage of the event, track position has been proven to be vital. You can easily lose upwards of 2 seconds sitting on the back of the train, losing time. You can't afford to give 2 seconds to Sonny Kanchin, especially when there's differentiations in pit stops, especially when Sonny Kanchin has known to break away. 54.5 that last time from Irunom, compared to a 54.2 from Sonny Kanchin. Nom's not doing the times. Kanchin is responding, and you're seeing how he's breaking away.
Yeah, any hopes of Num running them down, that's not happening. But again, this is a little misleading too. If the amount of fuel in your tank,
Fides, Genie. The Genie just runs very wide coming through. Replay on screen. He looks to hit the brakes. He missed his point by a country mile. Got caught up on the smallest little strip of grass. And that's just effectively put him out of the train battle.
Yeah, now it's pit stops time for him because he's going to get blown away. These guys are going to leave him behind. He's going to drop in there with Quintelier. Just to follow up on these lap times between Kanchin and Num, if the amount of fuel in the tank means anything, remember, Num has more fuel right now as Kanchin's tank is almost dry.
That's true, so that's something to keep in mind. And on cue, Gene Fides knew that the tyres were going, decides to dive down onto the lane. Worth noting that pit road, the start-finish line is exactly equal with the pit cone line, so it makes life very, very easy for the gunman because he can also do double duty as the race official.
That's very true. Usually here on GSRC broadcast, when I'm lead and we cover one from this track, we have a consumption game. Every time I yell, somebody's pitting, and they're not because the racing line comes right across pit entrance. So far, Jake, you've done a good job of not being fooled.
Yeah, I'm a wily old fox. I've seen my fair share of Interlagos races. I know how to expect as Weilinger runs very wide through the Curva de Sol. That's going to allow Willemsen an opportunity. It doesn't work. Dexter Castro looking for the inside. Then on the run to the Desquita de Lago. He wants the inside. He wants to jump up the train. Bashlob's trying to jump and run everybody away from this race. He wants to make moves down the inside. And right now, that was a very good move. But I think the Bay State Hammer has come down onto lane. I think the Bay State Hammer is now off of pit road here soon.
I'm sorry, Ratchi has come in for sure. But what's interesting is, remember, Ratchi was with Thidis in that battle. My goodness, well, Thidis is long gone.
Oh, yes, Thyssen has gone, I believe that you're trying to say. Gene Fides is in the middle of the train with Dove, Murray, and also Bamba. So Gene Fides is not in the right position. I think that's very crucial to be telling because Kanchin et al. Are just ahead of that train. And if they all decide to dive down in, Gene Fides is going to have to think about how he gets back into this. He'll have to be using the toe down the front, or up the front stretch, sorry, as he looks to go through. Kanchin, no, he sells the dummy. He sold the dummy to everybody and nobody bought it. Not even his immediate family decided to buy that sell as they head themselves into the left-hander at turn number 1. He fooled nobody, Soup.
Well, you would think that 90% of the guys he's racing against are part of Asbury, that maybe they get that worked out. Maybe they're trying to fool Richard Worth back there.
Well, Worth knew his money's worth. He knew. He knew.
Just to follow up on that, and you're right, I met Nick Thiessen when I was talking about the Ratchi-Thyssen battle. Ratchi in there for 24 seconds in his stop. Thyssen 8 seconds faster. That's why he's out so far in front. But that may be a pay me now, pay me later type thing, as Nick might have to take more fuel later on.
But crucially, Nick Thyssen is right with Gene Fides, so that would put Gianni Quintelier under a bit of pressure as Nick Thyssen easily dispatches of Lord Murray. That one, 4th position on the road, but not position nets for the overall race, as he'll have to get past the lap vehicle of Sarah Dove, Neil Bamba, and then to get onto the back of Gene Fides, who will want to be running away at this stage. We'll keep an eye here on Sarah Dove, because Sarah may decide to try and make the move down the inside. She doesn't have to. She probably wants to unlap herself at this stage. Won't happen, but should play ball here with Nick Thyssen behind.
And of course, she's really not in that race. She's a lap down, but she's just enjoying the Saturday, well, for her Saturday evening drive, right? Is that what time it is over there across the pond?
Yep, that's certainly the time across the pond. Eye again to Sonny Kanchin. Will Kanchin dive this one down onto the lane this time? By the answer is right now, we don't know, but he lost 0.3 of a second on that last lap to Iunom, so that gap is still very marginal between all of them. Richard Worth starting to struggle a little bit, starting to fall off the train. And in fact, everybody's going to be a taker on this lap here. They're all going to dive for the lane. They're all going to hit the brakes. And I think Marcelo Pajnan was a little bit too late on the brakes from my view. Italian Passion, all you want. I'm going to slow this one right down. He crosses the line at 66 kilometers an hour, and I think he was just safe.
Numb just out of the final corner now. He is on the main straight, going past bleachers, going right past pit entrance.
Wow. So Irunom wants to try and make this happen in 078 as more takers down onto the lane, takers out of the lane. Nope, there are none. So
and there he goes.
Goodbye, God bless. And well, Sonny Kanchin, very crucially, is going to get the jump. Pajnan almost getting the jump there on the driver, Travis Schwenke. So no changes there. But Irunom very clearly has gone for the short field strategy. He's gone for the short stop early here, Soup, because he's going to go for the long stop later on in this event.
And back on the train should be Gene Fittis as he's coming around right now. When Worth comes out, I think Fittis is going to tuck right in behind him.
And crucially, Quintelier has just been jumped by everybody. So Nick Thyssen has got through. And in fact, Quintelier is a fair ways back here now in 8th position. Yep. So Quintelier, the big loser in the first round of stops.
And Thyssen is the guy who's really cheated. He's now real close to Fittis, but remember, he's going to have to pay that. I think he's short filled coming in, as probably did Errol Numb.
Oh, so he's on the different strategy. So he's going to... I think he's tried to shortchange the toll booth, but the toll booth will come back to bite him in the end.
Well, here's the deal. If you short fill, all of a sudden you get on the back of the Sonny Kanchin train, and that's a price, that's a fare I will pay, because that train goes fast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to be having track position. Track position's vital in a race like this, because even though he sits there, his race is going to be with the Bay State Hammer, and, you know, you can say all you want about the Bay State Hammer right now in the 41 machine. Tom Ratji is not in a train. He's on his own. If you want to be on the back of Gene Fittis, you know, take it by all means.
Yeah, well, not only the back of Gene Fittis, and it's by the theory of transitivity on the back of Sonny Kanchin. Use a little arithmetic theory there for you. How's that?
Oh, hello. We're getting fancy, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway.
B and B equals C, then A equals C.
Yeah. Fair play. By any sort of stretch of standard, though, Irunom has a lead. That lead, though, is a gap of 6.2 seconds now to Sonny Kanchin. So the question will become, can Sonny Kanchin close down that gap over this next stint, really apply the pressure to Irunom? Because if that gap can get anywhere close by about a second, Sonny Kanchin's in full control. And not only is he in full control, but he's got his two teammates behind him. Nobody really wants to challenge Sonny Kanchin today. They know that they are playing the team game, and any one of those drivers will tell you that.
Errol Numb 6 seconds ahead of Kanchin now. He was losing time. This is a little bit of a faux lead. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, we'll see if he... But he's out there all by himself. He's going to run him fast now, though.
We have drivers down in on the stall still, though. Jurt Willemsen is still there on the lane. Lord Murray was down on the lane too. So out and away comes Lord Murray, one of the last drivers, actually, to come down, make that stop, the Scotsman. And now Jurt Willemsen there for a considerable amount of time at this stage. So I'm wondering what's actually happened here to Jurt Willemsen. This is unscheduled, I think, would be one way of describing it. I think here, Soup, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with him. We were just about to do some business and do our back marker review. We'll wait till he gets that all sorted out.
Well, he came in, and he's not come back out again. That's what I can tell you. He's come in, he's not come back out.
Well, no Dory Award for him, as he's now in 22nd position. So that gives us 21 drivers here today. You know, Jake, it's been a small field, but the guys have been putting on a pretty good show all through the pack.
Exactly. It's all it's had to be. It's all it's needed to be. And, well, that's the way that sometimes the racing does go. It doesn't need incidents to make things happen. But Sonny Kanchin, just stop, please, because he's just put in a 53.8. He's taken 0.7 of a second out of Irunom. I said 5 seconds, Sonny. I didn't say do it in 2 laps. Come on, save some excitement, please.
Yeah, this is all good news for Schwenke and Pajan and Worth if they can hang in there. Bad news for Fittis, who's fallen off the train, and Thyssen. It's too bad for them. Fittis about almost 3 seconds behind Worth. Great news for Worth, if he came in there. Jake, what we're going to do right now is do this. Usually we do this close to the end, but we're going to pay a little bills. Well, hang on a minute, because I think, I just thought Pajan might be thinking about making a move. Let's stay on this a minute between these Asbury guys.
Well, team order.
He's doing something?
I think he's thinking about it. Michele Pajnan wants to be as cozy as possible to Sonny Kanchin. We know he does want to help Sonny as much as possible. The best way to do that is to get past Travis Schwenke and be the number 2 driver in the team. You want to be the Rubens Barrichello to Sonny Kanchin. You don't want to be the Luca Badoer to Sonny Kanchin. That's the crucial factor. As you look at Richard Worth as well, the crucial thing is, because there's been a few looks here from the driver of Michele Pajnan, Worth is just in that 1 second window here, just able to hold on to the draft.
This means everything to the rookie if he can stay on there on the coattails of Kanchin. Could the Asbury Motorsports guy cut a colorblind commentator, do a solid for me, and maybe give those cars a little more difference in colors right there? You got good eyes there, Jake. Is Pajan's car a different color than Kanchin's?
Yes.
All right.
That's all that needs to be said. Is
all right.
The driver of what is Michele Pajnan going to back off of it then into turn number 1 on lap 23 of 49. So close, but no cigars at this stage here. Pajnan, Schwenke, Kanchin again taking another 4/10 out of Iru Nom. Nom's got nothing here to really argue against at this stage, and I think it's starting to pay dividends if your name is Sonny and ends in Kanchin, because everything at this stage is seeming Sunny side up. We're going to step aside then for one moment on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with continued coverage here of the finale of the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
They say it's always darkest before the dawn. And in the world of motorsports, those words ring especially true. As is tradition, Daytona greets us as we emerge from our winter hibernation. But this year, we awaken 30 years in the past. This time we celebrate a bygone era as drivers take to the unrefined beasts that are the Audi Quattro and Nissan GTP. A new season is about to dawn. The darkness about to fade. The Major Series and Late Apex Apparel proudly bring you the 2018 Classic Daytona 2.4, an endurance race from the ages, for the ages. Coming to you live, iRacing Live, on February 4th, 2018.
Hypothesis 1, Soup. I think Irunom is slower because he didn't take all 4 tyres at the stop where all the other drivers did. Discuss.
Oh, I don't think anybody took 4 tires, Jake. You can take 2 without it costing you any time. So and I would think that, I think possibly Numb didn't take any tires because he didn't fill it up all the way, which wouldn't allow him enough time to do it. So there may be some tires coming in on this next stop. We're going to find out. Is he going to fool me? I almost had to let you guys all consume your beverage there, so I thought he was going to make a pit stop. But no, we'll see how it plays out. One thing that is certain is Numb is losing time to Kanchan.
What's very certain is that that's another 0.3 of a second that's been lopped off as the gap comes down to 4.4 seconds between Nom and Kanchan. Kanchan will have the traffic of George Dankert just in front, and Dankert, the gentleman that he is, one of the most lovable characters in sim racing that you will ever find. Out of the way, easy as you like. He may not be quick, but my goodness, is he the most the most gentlemanly figure when it comes to the paddock suit.
Well, that's always nice to know. That's what I tried to do when I was racing. Be kind. I can report that Numb did take right side tires, though. He put the car up, so there's no excuse for him being the pace he is right now, other than Kanchan is really fast.
Well, you like the idea of Kanchan is really fast. I like the idea that there is more than just Kanchan is really fast, because I see how quick Irunnom is on multiple series, on multiple days, and any given day. Bushwinks are normally up there, Bushwinks are normally challenging, so that's going to be very interesting to see. Gianni Quintelier, though, has caught the back of Gene Fiddis. Fiddis has lost the position to Nick Thyssen in the battle for 6th and 7th, and suddenly Gianni looks pretty strong again.
Hanging in there, right behind Fiddis. Fiddis, unfortunately, lost touch with the lead draft. That's what cost him. The bad news is Tom Ratchew's out there on an island all by himself, but maybe Thyssen will come back to him in a minute when all the second pit stops are out of the way.
Well, an island for himself for the moment for the Bay State Hammer, but he does, if he wants to, he does have Dexter Castro within 2 seconds, so he could get Dexter as a drafting partner, as a dancing partner, as it were, and the two can tango their way back up through the field. The big issue is it's 13 seconds back now to the Quintelier Fiddis Thyssen team, so that's going to be a huge challenge to try and bring back into play.
Yeah, absolutely. All this going on behind Errol Numb. Let's just go ahead and give you that interval again. Oh, man, it's good down to 4.1 second. Kanchan is coming, and he's coming fast. Let's take this opportunity to pay some bills. Jake, keep an eye on the guys up front. Yell out if something happens. We're going to do our 67 back marker review, sponsored by Eagle's Nest Tavern. And we're going to bring that. There we go. Where are we going here? There it is right now. And we're going to start with Sarah Dove. We got 22 drivers entering the field. 21 are still racing. Sarah's the only one that is one lap down in 21st position. In the 20th spot, it's George Dankirk. He's had some interesting times going on. He is about 26 seconds behind Max Wright, who's again has about 13 seconds before he gets to Joe McDonald, who is racing in a little bit of a battle. Now, this time we got something to look at. McDonald is in 18th, just ahead of him, Jeroen Ursum, and then Kip Stevens. This battle has been going on for most of the race. We'll check back in on this one from time to time, see how these guys sort themselves out. The bad news for Stevens is with Quintelier doing so well, looks like that amateur championship is not going to be within his grasp. Let's go up another 22 seconds from Stevens all the way up to Robert Balinga.
He had a mistake, I think. Oh, he had a big mistake, Soup, actually. Huge. As he gets through the Pinarino, he gets caught up on the curb, he loses it, and in fact, he does just collect the Armco. And not only does he collect the Armco, he hits it hard.
Yeah, and he's racing all by himself. He's got about a second now to get up to our clean driver champion. That's Lauren Murray in 14th position. Lauren out there putting in another clean race right now. I can't see the incidents, but I would imagine they are very few. It's another 3 seconds up to Derek Holland. Now, Holland's in a little fun battle here with Bambi. Bambi is in 12th. Neil Bamber, Derek Holland behind him in 13th. We know Neil from the Absolute Beginner League, where he races in those skippies almost every time. Good to see him come on over. He was signed up for the series, making his first race debut at the very end. Hopefully he'll be back for season 15, and talks are underway for that one. Let's go up to the driver that started at the very back. Looks like the water has found its level right now, as Boss Slav is in 11th and a long way to go to get to anybody else. Next person on his hit licks, Dexter Castro, making another start. He has raced in at least one time in each of the 14 seasons in the MX-5 World Tour, currently in 10th position. Dexter, always good to see you on the broadcast. The Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchey, in 9th. He was in that battle with Thyssen. I think that may get back together after the pit stops come in again a second time. Let's move up one more spot. Gene Fittis, he was up front in the front train for a while. Right now he finds himself in this 3-car battle behind Thyssen. And our amateur champion, if he can bring it home, that would be Gianni Quintilier. I think that'll do it for our Eagle Nest Tavern back marker review.
Well, you can't get any much further in this field in terms of back marker here, Soup. You'll be challenging the leaders right now, who are all now within 5 seconds of each other. Richard Worth just hanging on to the back, not willing to really get aggressive just yet, needs to stay within that 1 second. Kanchin is putting up a pace that not many people are able to follow, and that's just a testament to how much time Sonny Kanchin puts into this MX-5. And Iru Nom, a 54.6, it's not working for the Estonian right now. He needs to find something to be working in his favour, otherwise he's just going backwards again. 54.5, expect a 54 flat, if not a little bit less here from Kanchin. 54.1, 54.1, 53.9 from Pajnan, 54.2 from the driver of what is going to be Richard Worth. So, actually, I did actually get confirmation from an old teammate, actually, of Marcello's on how to pronounce his name.
All right.
Marcello Pagnan.
Pagnan.
Pagnan. It's a cat.
I'll go for that.
Pagnan.
Errol Num, now that interval to the lead, about 3 seconds. He's past the halfway mark, so right now he's hoping that Martians invade Brazil and iRacing has to call this race, make it official. Not sure if that's going to happen. Otherwise, other than some type of interplanetary invasion, I think Errol might be in trouble.
I think he may be, as the expedition for gold is not working the way that it's quite meant to right now. Pagnan looking for the move, but is just still unable to really get on the offensive here with Schwenke. Schwenke's going to very happily just sit and wait and know that, you know, I don't have to make any moves right now. I'm sat behind my teammate who is one of the best in the world, or if not the best driver in the world. There's a reason why the driver of Sonny Kanchin won the Raw before the 24. He is an incredible driver, and he can do it in any circumstance, and I think he could do it at any distance as well. Put him in VLN, I think he could even beat the Sherneys.
Yeah, he seems to have no inclination to do that. He's very monogamous to the MX-5.
Exactly. That's why I'm wondering whether a VLM push for Sonny Kanchin could be the way forward in terms it's going here. And we're going to look a little bit further back because we've seen a little thing here, Soup. And that's a big off there. That's Dexter Castro. Oh, dear. Oh, dear me. That's at the place which is catching a lot of people out there. That's the Pinarino once again. Getting on the power. Never had the back sorted. And slide. Don't hit the wall. Hit the wall.
And then I think he actually tried to take the car in the little gap there off track. I think thought he was still racing in the Continental Endurance Series, where he had to actually get the car off track before he could tow.
well, at least iRacing knows that if that's going to happen, you're going to go back to pit road.
Dexter never fails to entertain. So, add another one down there.
That's
Vilmanson was getting a little lonely.
Yeah, he was, as now Nick Thyssen's going to dive down to the inside as Gianni Quintilier. This one, the battle for position number 6. Quintilier will let him have it, but he wants to go up and under. Quintilier, you know, finding a little bit of pace now here as they head towards this second stint. I don't know whether he's got a good luck kiss or something from his girlfriend or anything, but he'll be looking certainly to get this push going forward. It's not working out, though, in favour. He's trying, but, you know, he's not quite there just yet.
I wish we knew the girlfriend's real name. We'd give her a little happy birthday wish. Okay. Happy birthday to you, girlfriend, whatever
Mrs.
your name
Quintilier.
is. Yeah. Well, I don't think we're there yet. Well, that was certainly that. I can hear Quintilier not letting her watch the broadcast now. Thyssen, Quintilier, and Fittis.
Yeah, fantastic work, but Iru Nom, the Sharks are coming because Sonny Kanchin's got that gap now down under 3 seconds, and Worth has been made worthless. He has been dropped off of the back of this train, and suddenly Richard Worth is almost out of this race here in terms of the victory. This is an Asbury Motorsport special.
Real similar to what we saw from Quintelier earlier, who was just trying everything he could to hang onto the back of the train. So was Richard Worth. He could never quite get up there where he was comfortable in there. So right now it's Errol Num for Bushfink, and then my favorite flavor of pie, the Asbury, second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, it's doing a great job right now. The gap's down to just 2.3 seconds. 54.1 from Kanchin, 54.5 from Irunum. Traffic in front is Max Wright. We'll have to negotiate that very soon. And this has all been down to Sonny Kanchin doing the Lance Armstrong role, setting the pace, making sure that everybody cracks behind him before he then decides, you know what, I'm going to then scrap it out with my team. And if it was anybody else, if they knew that they wanted protecting, you know, you always put your best driver at the front to chase. That's what Sonny's been doing.
Yeah, but if as this one comes in, there's going to be interesting as he comes in relationship to Tom Ratchie. Well, Ratchie hasn't made his second stop yet, so he goes by. If Kanchin was Neil Armstrong, though, or if it was the Tour de France, they'd have him in the back saving energy. Neil Armstrong? Yeah. Well, that's well, Neil Armstrong.
That'll be a completely different story. You'd be going to the moon and back if it was Neil Armstrong.
Oh, my goodness.
Lance Armstrong.
I know who I'm talking about. If it was Lance Armstrong, well, first of all, we'd have Sonny blood tested, but
dear, it's all coming out now.
Fuel. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm done.
It's all coming out now. But the question now becomes, with Nick Tissinen on the lane, when does Irunum decide to pit? Because he came in early. He has to come in probably earlier than the other two, and he may just have to go longer as Max Wright hits the lane for the second time. The gap's now down to just 2.1 seconds. So Sonny Kanchin suddenly has that visible marker to go, oh, you're right there. That's good. We'll start working on this race now.
I'm telling you, I think Travis Swenke's going to pull a fast one here. When they come in for this next one, nobody knows fuel better than Travis Swenke. He really does have it. He's got it all. He's a scientist when it comes to that. Watch for him to jump Kanchin in this next pit stop.
But you'd think that if he's a scientist, then he'll be sharing his information with all of Asbury.
Perhaps. I don't know. I think there's not a lot of love lost there for Kanchin. I think he's been successful enough. I don't think he needs to win again. Travis would really like to get his first victory in this season, or this series. They've been around forever.
It reminds you almost of a spoiled child with Sonny Kanchin. No, yeah. I want to win. I'm winning. I'm always winning.
Yeah, it's kind of a mom likes you best type thing right now. And I think that if Travis, certainly, let me put it this way, if Schwenke got the win, or Pajan for that matter, there'd be a lot of happy people.
There would be a lot of happy people. We like seeing different winners in the MWT, having 8 wins in 11 rounds. It seems that somebody has decided that they want to win a lot more, and a lot more even after that. So that's sometimes the way it goes in racing. Sometimes, you know, you get a driver who's all conquering and all dominant, and there's not much more you can really say about it. Schwenke's still under pressure from Panyan, shall I say. So Irunum, just at this stage, is seemingly trying to straight line as much as he possibly can. I've just had a look at him. I think he may be diving down onto the lane. On cue, he's diving down onto the lane. That's the sort of margin he was looking at there, Soup. He wasn't wanting to track out at all when it came to that stage. He relinquishes the lead to, guess who? Sonny Kanchin again. Right, shall we go off script at some stage today?
And how so?
Oh, well, I don't know. Someone throw a meteor or something at him.
Oh, I see. Well, I can tell you. Well, this is interesting. Num is taking right sides again.
Well.
So let's see if he goes up on the left. Nope, he's just going to take right sides both times. So, nope, he goes up on both sides now. He's taking 4 tires. It's going to be a long stop.
I did say both sides. It is a viable strategy with the hot conditions. Irunum's going to play to the both sides strategy. So he puts all 4s on. He knocks the cone straight out. And, well, he looks to try and get out and away once again. So Irunum getting out in clean air for the second time. And crucially, getting out in clean air when he's got a lot of temperature in the tires to be working with too, Soup.
Okay, I'm surprised he took 4. You got me on that one, Jake. Brutally long stop, though. We'll see how that plays out. Well, Asbury, Asbury, Asbury.
The Asbury lock.
That's it. And their colors, the car in the middle is blue. The one up in the front, I'm going to go with maroon, and the one in the back is charcoal. How's that? How'd I do?
Wow, you are there.
Wow!
It's almost as if you're not colorblind.
Hey, Mom, look, no hands. I got that one right.
Well done. So you can have a gold star. You can place your picture on the fridge. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. But Sonny Kanchin right now, this is the next question. He's got to outlast Irunom. If he wants the jump, he'll go for the 2-tire call. But, crucially enough, if someone like Travis Schwenke decides I'm going for 4 tires, they're going to start trying to chase down as much as possible. Out of pit road then comes Robert Weilinger for his final stop. He gets out. He gets going again. He's now classed as 1 lap down. But now the question becomes, they all pitted at the same time for the first stint. Are they all going to follow the same suit this time?
Yeah, I would. This is interesting. I don't know what. I don't think I can afford to be off the Kanchin train. But if I think I might have to. If I'm Schwenke and I can afford to do it with fuel, if I can jump him and pick up a couple seconds, maybe I make the move.
Maybe you have to. Maybe you don't have many choices, but it all depends on if they want Sonny to be the most winningest driver in an MWT season. That's going to be a question that comes back to haunt a lot of people. We saw at Oran Park how Schwenke wanted to make the move on Sonny Kanchin, but decided that he couldn't. So I don't think it's a team order thing. I think that they are staying in position right now here, Soup, so that they can get Irunom out of this race, so that they can be the aggressors. They can put themselves in a situation where they are the ones who are going to be going all hell for leather.
Ratchi is in. Is he going to come out in relation to Thyssen? Let's see where Thyssen is. See if I can find Thyssen. Thyssen's nowhere to be found. Did he jump him?
Yeah, no, he didn't. Nick Thyssen's down at the Ski de Lago, so Nick Thyssen's gone.
Yeah.
But it's a bit closer than it was, but still, that's about 10 seconds, Soup.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out the way that it was supposed to there.
Nope. But that's the way it is. So,
Tom's got 10 seconds to make up over the next 17 laps.
It's possible. It's definitely plausible, but he's got to hope for a little bit of luck as, again, Travis Schwenke close to Kanchin, waiting on it, and now Pagnan trying to go for that move and just not able to be close enough to go make anything happen here. They're doing themselves about mid-54s at this stage. Irunom's going to have the opportunity coming out of the lane to really go and attack this lap. He's done his out lap already, so this is going to be the first real representative time we're seeing. So the time to beat is, yep, you remember it, 54.4, Sonny Kanchin. That's the sort of time he's trying to battle against. Comes across the line, 53.7. There we go. There's the understanding. 4 tires is the way.
That's how you do it. Hey, I feel a little hungry. How about we go back to 14th position, have a little McDonald's here. Nice little battle going on. Oh, and as I say that, old Joe misses the apex, is going to surrender that position to Derek Holland. No, he's not. He's going to fight back. There's Cialis Bathtubs, Jake. Oh, McDonald gets a little bit loose. Holland back out in front. They're having fun.
Well, it seems that the window opened, and Joe McDonald asked if Derek Holland wanted fries with that. The answer was yes, so he took it and ran.
That's it. And now here he goes.
Well, easy as you want, easy as you need. So Joe McDonald then falls behind Derek Holland just for the moment, as they are being chased by your leading trio, who will need to come down at some stage. Now, the big issue is going to be, do they take 4 again, decide to definitively stay behind Irunom, or do they take the 2 and look to hold off the charge of Irunom? Because now, Irunom has really put them in a pickle in this situation.
This is fascinating. Honestly, I don't know what you do. I like the thought of it, though.
And no takers again. So the longer this goes on these older tyres, the more that they're going to run into issues. 54.2s are nice, but they're not quite there. You know, this isn't the chance where 54.2 earlier on was going to put you in contention because of the old 2-tyre call. They're going to be now 54.2s probably at least to the end of the race. The longer they stay out here, Soup, the longer they're going to be conceding to Irunom.
Yeah, Sonny took 4 tires last time. I can't imagine that he can afford to take 4 tires again. I think it's got to be a 2-tire stop and then play defense.
Well, this is the issue because they gain 6 seconds over the fact that the tyres get changed. That's an extra 6 seconds that you put in. Irunom with a 53.8 is just looking absolutely impervious. Another 0.4 of a second. The longer this goes on, soon you're going to see Sonny Kanchan under pressure. Soon you're going to see Irunom thinking maybe 3 seconds behind, maybe even 2 seconds behind, maybe even right on the back of the train, which is not out of the realms of possibility. But the good news will be, if everybody's on the same strategy here, Soup, it's that it's not going to be Irunom's fighting against one person for the win. He's got to fight against the whole flipping army.
Yeah, but 2 of the members of the army are wearing the same uniform, so that makes it a little easier. It would only be Num that's not on Asbury. Yeah, I think if Num can come out and end up on the back of the train, he'll be happy.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make here, Soup. Irunom's not fighting just against Sonny Kanchan. He's fighting against Schwenke and Pinyan as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, up the hill they climb for lap 35 of 49. Just 14 laps to go then. When they cross the start-finish line, and Sonny Kanchan has led quite a big majority of all of them, has the club Oz NZ drivers. Again, no takers. They'll all sit and wait and use Sonny Kanchan to the advantage. Drivers who still yet to have come down on the lane. Gianni Quintelier is one of them. You also have the likes of Gene Fiddis, who has come down onto the lane. He's made his stop. He's out and away. And in relation to Thyssen, he's behind. In relation, though, to Mr. Hammer, he's in the middle. Yeah,
he came out right between those guys. That could be good news for Ratchy. If he can get up there, maybe they can work together and see if they can run down Thyssen.
That's going to be crucial. Neil Bamber versus Lorne Murray. This battle's still going on out on circuit as Neil Bamber looks to go on the aggressive for the first time in a little while as they head to the Bico de Pato. Not going to happen just yet, but you see Neil Bamber trying everything to put himself in play. It's not quite working.
That has been going on for a long time. I love the new paint scheme of Lorne Murray's car. That looks good out there. Oh, my goodness. I thought Bambi was going to give him a little punch with the snout.
Well, Bambi, maybe a punch with the snout, but in the end, it may have been the double-barrel shotgun sort of finish. You'd definitely say in that situation. So he gets away with one there. He tried to have a look down the inside with the nose. The nose was not there, so he didn't make the move. And, well, Lord Murray dives very late down onto the lane. And, well, he gets on the brakes. He gets nice and calm, and he's there. 50 kilometers an hour. He'll get a little bit quicker than that. Speed limit is 72 here. So, Lorne, you've got to go a little bit quicker if you want to win the AM category, which is looking further and further here, Soup, as if that's gone completely away from him today.
Gotta feel good for Quintelier, who made the ultimate sacrifice and left his girlfriend alone for her birthday. But he is going to come home tonight with the amateur championship, if he can just bring it out for those final 14 laps. Lorne Murray, though, not going to be too sad. He's going to get that clean driver award. In fact, he's only earned that one.
Well, that's always going to be very crucial. Getting the clean driver award is not something to shake a stick at. I think that is very crucial. If you're clean, if you're efficient, and if you have the pedigree, you go out there, you drive it, and, well, beating the likes of Trip the Arrow Smith here, Soup, you know, that's difficult enough in itself.
Clean driver award, you probably shake like a mop or a broom at it, I would think.
Yeah, you're about right, actually, with that one. So that's something just to keep in the back of the mind when you look at the achievements that Lorne Murray has definitely managed to create for himself as the leading train, again, is still looking to go around. Nom, though, is starting to struggle a bit. His last lap time was a 54.1. He's hitting the battle now. McDonald versus Ursum, and Ursum getting a big drift through 2. And, well, you can run in the 90s as much as you want, Jeroen. We all know that you held that.
About 33 seconds between the leader back to Num. So we'll keep an eye on that one. This is a fun battle here, McDonald and Ursum. They'll probably get that taken care of before. Yeah.
Well, Derek Holland running off the circuit there on the left-hander. That was not ideal. That was not the way that was going to go. But I tell you what we are going to do. We're going to talk to Dexter Castro. Dexter, well, that was an interesting end. Dexter, do you have a copy? No. is the answer that we got there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Dexter Castro in just a little bit. So when we get Dexter Castro back, when we get him there, we'll step in for an interview. But for now, the question becomes, when do your leaders dive down? We're 12 laps away from the end in just a few moments' time. And, well, again, no takers. But look at this. Travis Schwenke, closest he's ever been, looking for the inside. No, thank you. Won't take the position. So there was a clear-cut opportunity to dive one down the inside. He decided not to take it again. They're still worried about this. And I think they responded very well. 54 twos and ones are good enough at this stage to keep Eru Nom at bay, because Nom has found Ursman McDonald.
The longer Kanchan stays out, the better for Schwenke and Pajan. If these guys are absolutely have to take less fuel, the less laps they have to hold off Kanchan, the better. I'm still looking for Schwenke and Pajan to get the best of Pajan or of Kanchan when he makes the stop.
Exactly, that's going to be crucial. We're going to try again. Dexter, do you have a copy? We still don't have a copy. Ah, someone get a photocopier. We don't have a copy for Dexter. Ah.
Dexter would say, I didn't put in a lot of practice time. I just wanted to come in and get in this race, so I kept my streak alive. And I look forward to racing in all of the races next season. If not, I will race in one. And where's my spot on the Wall of Fame? That's about what Dexter was asking for.
Well, Dexter Castro then has very many similarities to The Undertaker. He doesn't seem to be talking much. He has a very long streak, and it seems that he's only cropping up once a year.
You are just in wrestling mode, aren't you?
Well, it's the Royal Rumble this weekend. I have to be in wrestling mode.
You know it's all scripted, right, Jake?
It's real to me.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what isn't scripted is what's going on here right now. Hey, look at this. Kanchan opening up what could be considered for this race a huge lead. Oh, here they come. Watch that. Isn't that interesting how Kanchan opens up a big lead as soon as the time for a pit stop? Here they come. All three of them.
All three. So now it's jump time. Jump man, can you go and jump the rope? So now Sonny Kanchan has to be thinking about this. Is it 2? Is it 4? Because Sonny Kanchan can use the new tyres to his advantage to close down a certain Eru Nom who's been out there time and again on the old tyres, but did a 54 flat on those last laps. The last laps that we've seen, the last 3 laps from Eru Nom, 53.9, 54.1, 54 flat. So here comes Eru Nom looking to go past these drivers. Richard Worth is also down in on the lane. They're all going to jump. They're all going 6s and 7s. And Sonny Kanchan suddenly has a 1.5 seconds worth of a lead. Travis Schwenke had nothing. Marcelo Pignan had nothing. Look how hard Travis Schwenke's pushing. He's pushing even out to pit road. Look at this. Marcelo Pignan is going to come straight back. They're going to go side by side. Gloves are off now. This isn't kiddie fighting. We're going for this one full bore USC style.
They get it sorted out. Boy, that does not look like team orders there. And I give up commentating a race with Sonny Kanchan. I don't see how it's feasibly possible for him to be first out of that stop after leading, after doing all the work for this entire race, 80 minutes.
You going to check for hacks?
I'm telling you, it's the Coriolis effect, that the fuel flows faster in the Southern Hemisphere.
You're going to try and get everything in that way. So by that logic then, Soup, how come Gene Fiddis is not quick?
That's right. Good point. Or the Brazilian drivers. I don't know. I give up. He's fast. He's fast. He's good at pit stops. Sonny Kanchan looking to go 9 of 11.
Wow.
Oh, let me get that right. No, 10 of 12. 10 of 12.
10 of 12. Oh, that's a season. If you get to double figures in MWT, you know you are a good driver.
Nom about 3 seconds behind the little duet of Schwenke and Pajan.
Richard Worth got completely jumped by everybody in that one. Eru Nom was gone with the hills, and looking at Richard Worth, he's sort of halfway between Nom and Quintelier, and that just shows you just how much work has been put in.
Boss Slav, remember him? We covered his escapades early on. Has he made all of his stops? Yep, he sure has. All the way up to 7th.
No, he hasn't. He's only made 1 stop.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll help a little.
He's made a stop on lap 20, and he hasn't made a stop yet. So he's due in the next 2 laps, I'm probably going to say here, towards the end of this event. Bashlob needs to dive down in. He's looking to try and deal with... Actually, he's just come in and made his stop and come back out again. So he's behind Nick Disson. He's behind Tom Ratchie. He's behind Gene Fiddis. He's ahead by a mile of Neil Bamber. So Bashlob, I can officially call him position 10.
There you go.
Gap at the front then, 1.8 seconds. Sonny Kanchan versus Travis Schwenke. And Schwenke now is trying to drop the driver of Michele Pignan. And Pignan needs to be careful because Schwenke's going to go for one thing and one thing only. And that is going to be Sonny Kanchan. There's no other alternatives. But Iru Nom is the big unknown in all of this. He's been out there the longest. He's got his tyres rubbered in the most. They're going to be warm. He's going to be trying to use that momentum of putting lap on lap, get back onto the podium.
Go and take a double check and see what type of tires that Kanchan took, if he took 4 or 2. Quick check on that one.
I believe the answer is BF Goodrich tyres.
Yes, he did. He only took right sides.
Well, that's the play that all of them have done here. Sonny Kanchan was the quickest man on the lane. He saved a little bit more fuel than anybody else. I don't know how he manages to keep doing that, and I wonder if you even have to say, I want to look at your telemetry afterwards. I think that's the sort of level of, well, I don't quite understand this one. I don't quite understand how he can be so good the day in and day out. The gap has opened to 3.3 seconds. Sonny Kanchan's on a different level right now. 54-1, 55s and 56s for Schwenke and also Pignan. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, double bad news for Schwenke and Pignan. They're losing touch with Kanchan, and they're also being run down by Errol Num.
Well, I have to have a look at this because the only way I think I can plausibly see this happening is maybe traffic. In fact, no, it wasn't traffic. They were battling. And then suddenly, oh my goodness, I want to get a replay of this. Schwenke got all out of shape. Pignan had to dive, and well, he is very lucky as Marcello Pignan that this is a Herman Tilke designed recovery.
We'll take a shot, see if we can find this one.
Well, you're going to see this one, these two battling together. This is going to be down at the Curva de Sol, turn number 3. So you're going to see this one, Soup, heading towards turn numbers 1 and 2. The cutback opportunities were in play.
Yeah, and all that battling, you're right, Jake, that's what's brought Errol Num right back into the picture. Look at this. Oh!
Big wow. That's the right idea, I think. That was a massive wow from Michele Pignan. And that little bit of contact, I think, has just put Sonny Kanchan clear once again.
Not the preferred racing line through that corner.
No. But it's one that worked to keep the race safe.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's not about the way that you go through a corner. It's just about finishing. And it's the endurance mentality that a lot of drivers have. Lap time for Sonny Kanchan, 54-4, side by side. Now the two teammates have decided, gloves off. We're battling. Pignan down to the inside, making that move look very comfortable as his 54 flat meets a 54.6 of Travis Schwenke. And now Iru Nom, 54 flat of his own. Iru Nom is the quickest man out of all of them. He's 4.5 seconds back. He took 0.4 of a second out of Sonny Kanchan that last time by, and he knows that he's running out of laps to close down 4.5 seconds. It's got to be 0.8 a lap now from Nom, surely.
Love this camera angle from behind. You can see the brake lights of both drivers that went side by side in the corner hit at exactly the same time. Nom getting up there.
Well, it's just like clockwork between the pair of them, Schwenke and Pignan. So that's going to be something just to keep in mind, is that these two, Schwenke and Pignan, they know each other very well. They know exactly how to play this game. They probably battled each other many times in practice with the various capabilities that they both have. Nom deep on the brakes into the right of the Laranjina. It doesn't quite work out, though, for him. He's got to make sure that he's there, that he's going to try and make this move as quickly and as effectively as possible, because he needs to work to get back to Sonny Kanchan. The question now is Sonny Kanchan short on fuel? And we keep asking this question. Yep, I've said it this time.
I wasn't going to say it, Jake. I was going to leave it to you. No, thank you.
yes, I'm going to say it because the question has been, he now has this gap of 3.5 seconds. If that gap starts coming back down again, we know that he is definitely lifting and coasting.
Bless you, young man. Bless you. I was thinking it, but I was refusing to say it.
You were a non-believer.
Yeah, I fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But it'd be like fool me 9 times. I'm tired of it. So
You're tired. Look at this. Here comes Schwenke. He's thinking about going back, but he's going to play the sit and waiting game again. And this is the gimmick that isn't going to get you back to Kanchin. And remember, these 3 drivers, only one of them wants to get back to Kanchin.
We'll leave this for just a minute, quickly. Let's give a little love to 16th position. Well, now here comes a pass from Jeroen Ursum. And he makes it on Joe McDonald. Got there just in time, Jeroen.
Oh,
Move
lovely.
up into 16th. All right, we can go back to the lead now.
No, we can't, because look at Joe McDonald's run coming out of the second part of the Center S, because he's now got the run, heading to the Desquita de Lago. Defensive line taken then by Jeroen Ursum. And, well, he's overtaking it right now, and that's going to be just about the way that he wants to make that happen on the outside. Desquita de Lago still not over, though.
Man, I've been up all night. I'm doing a 90 minute. I'm getting loopy. You and I are both getting a little bit silly here. Look at this great racing going on. Not missing anything up front. Is real close. Second, third, and fourth, real close. But let's stay on this one for a while. Look at Amjad Yama, not only on. Look at the camera work from our director. Nice job.
Beautifully done, and that is a great view of McDonald. Easy move, just holding on to it. That's what you need in through Ferradura, the double right-hander. Irunom, though, now needs to start getting aggressive. He needs to start making moves. The longer they wait, the longer this race is going to fall away with just a handful of laps to go. When they cross the line, they are down to 6 laps to go. You're just going to get 4 fingers and 2 thumbs, counting every little inch of it. But the issue's going to be, Marcelo Peñan is doing a favor right now for Travis Schwenke. Irunom, they don't want Irunom inside this top 3. They want the Asbury lock. They want to get the podium in play. And you're seeing this right now. Defensive line taken then by the driver of Travis Schwenke into 1. Looking to go offensive here. They're all tripping over each other now, Soup.
If I didn't know better, I would say that Schwenke took like the second lane away from Num as well. That's not what happened, but there's no room for Num to go. I can almost, page 17 of the GSRC Commentator's Handbook says, put drama in the race whenever possible. Maybe Kanchin has said back to them, guys, I'm short of fuel. Can you hold Num back a bit? How about that for a little bit of a conspiracy theory?
Do you mind sending me that book? I'd very much enjoy trying to read it from time to time. But what you're seeing now is Irunom desperate to make moves. You're seeing Irunom unable to make moves. Bashlob, though, and Gene Fiddis. In fact, Gene Fiddis has had a poor lap, a 57.2. There had to be a mistake somewhere from the Genie, and I think we have the easiest move in the world. Made it at Mahulo, and that was just Gene Fiddis on the outside deciding, you know what, I can't make anything out of that. You can go through, Bashlob.
So Slob gets another spot. What a great run from him. And you want to talk about a guy, this is really, let's go to Richard Worth in 5th position. This has been his season. Running with the guys up front, then little by little, when it comes to the end, kind of just disappears. Back there in 5th, going to get a nice result. I think next season, if he can just up his game, Jake, just that much more, he's going to be something to watch out for.
Well, he just needs a little bit more. It's like 0.2 of a second a lap that he needs to really keep himself in play. The 17 seconds of today is a lot larger than what would normally be at this stage. As still, Irunom has no way to get through. 5 to go when they cross the line. That is just going to be 20 and a little bit more kilometers that they have to negotiate here at Interlagos. On the brakes again into 1. This time it's more formulaic. They've got to get past George Dankert once again. So that's going to be the big worry here. Kanchin's clear now. The gap's 4 seconds. I don't see a way it's going to be caught. It's a battle 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Unless we keep on going to the well and saying fuel. But it never is. Sonny Kanchin's always been ace to perfection. Here comes Schwenke.
Nope, he's going to wait. For Num, he reminds me of the 60-year-old employee coming into his boss saying, could I please have a promotion? And the boss says, you know, if you were going to get a promotion, it would have happened by now. I kind of think that's what's going on with Numb. He has been behind these guys for a long time. If he could have made the pass, he would have made it by now. I think that's all he's got.
Well, that is a difficulty. He's had the tyres on for a lot longer. They're more used. There's a lot less on them, so he's got to work twice as hard to stay with the likes of Schwenke, to stay with the likes of Penyan. You also have to look at a different battle, Weilinga versus Stevens, and Stevens now letting through the traffic of what is going to be Gianni Quintelier. That brings Robert Weilinga back. This battle, 1 lap down for P14 and 15 on circuit.
And my apologies to all the 60-year-olds out there if I was a little bit ageist on that one.
Oh, filthy ageist.
Yes. Remember, 60 is the new 30. That's what I have to say.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay. Numb, I can say Numb is really having a hard time.
Well, he's got to go up the hill, but the issue is every time he tries to catch Schwenke, they're both catching the driver in front of Michelo Penyan. And you can see already here the gap just moving out of the draft. I don't want to pass you, Marcello, says the driver of Schwenke. And Schwenke, in fact, goes to the inside now and is deciding finally, I want to make this move. Now Iru Nom's going to try and go defensive here, but look at Penyan. Just shut the door firmly closed. They knew exactly what they wanted. This is complete tandem offense, or tandem defense even, we could say, because there was never going to be a gap. Penyan said, no, you're not passing.
And if you don't know Errol Numb, I have never seen him put the bumper to anybody, so I don't think we're going to see. He is as cool as they come. Look at this. He's going to force his way up in there now.
Oh, no, they're going to touch, are they? Penyan just holds on. Now everything's going 6s and 7s. You shall not pass, says the pair of Asbury Motorsports machines. But I think there was the one opportunity. Starting to get a bit greedy. Thinking of himself a little bit was Penyan. And he's not done, though. He's got the inside for both of the right-handers. This next one of the Laranjina coming up as well. But you can see, no! Round goes the driver of Penyan. And that is going to be that. There for him. Replay on screen. Iru Nom had nowhere to go in that situation. He doesn't like the chrome horn. He ran a little bit wide, caught on the AstroTurf, and that was just an unforced error.
Out there. Oof, boy, that's a tough one.
Well, he's letting him back through. I think that's very nice there of Iru Nom. So the fair play, the fair sportsmanship award goes to Iru Nom. I think for the entirety of the season, it gives Travis Schwenke second. It probably gives Sonny Kanchin the win. But that there was Iru Nom trying to make the move, getting out of shape there on that AstroTurf. And it's so easy to lose grip there. I will tell you this very easily from experience. When you get caught up on the outside, when the vehicle starts getting a little bit sideways, it's so difficult, and I will tell you, Soup, that was hardly anything of a sideways moment.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's not going to give this one up. He's going to come straight back at him. Look at the defense here from Penyan. He's trying to force him out wide. Oh, this is fantastic. Up and under.
There we get the job in. That was, well, he's not done yet. That was a bit of a late move there.
Squeeze, no. He goes. Oh, dear.
And
And no common courtesy to throw that one back. Marcelo Penyan's gone. And, well, Iru Nom will now feel that he has been right and royally abused. Richard Worth will now take the position.
This one... Yeah, that's, my parents raised me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm gonna have nothing to say on this one.
You're pleading the fifth here, Sue.
I'm looking for the other side of the story, but...
The other side of the story is Marcello was looking to play the aggressive game. Okay. He was looking to give no room to the driver of what was going to be Iru Nom. And in the end, when it came to it and they headed through turn number 2, he made ultra defense through 1. He put the defense through 2. And ultimately, he just tracked out wide. And you can argue as well with the white line rule that Iru Nom is not on circuit and Michelo Penyan does not actually have to give back the position for Iru Nom.
The defense rests. Nice job. The good news for Arrow is, did he lose? Is he racing? Oh, he's down to 5th. He did lose 1 position to Richard Worth.
Well, this is the big question, because Gianni Quintelier could take this in style with a top 5 if he's not too careful. So Iru Nom, he did make heavy contact with the side, and, well, the question will be, Is there damage? The answer is most certainly yes, is the answer. But how much? I'm saying not much.
Kachin, Swanky, Pajan, Num, and Worth and Num. That's how they race down the top 5. Since things settle down a little bit before this is over, let's check in on Ursum and McDonald. What's going on down there? Jeroen out in front right now.
Doing a good job of things out in front right now. We also have the battle, Derek Holland versus Neil Bamber. This one for 11th and 12th out on circuit. Bamber's been up and down and all around. He probably is seasick as a yo-yo right now, but he's got to be really dealing with this here. Derek Holland, no slouch, looking to be the aggressor here in the final laps, looking to really attack this one. And well, he's going to sit and wait for the perfect opportune moment.
For those who might think the nickname Bambi is a little bit insulting, remember Bambi was a boy.
Yes.
Listen, you know, these guys, Bamber and Holland, have been together the entire 90 minutes.
Yeah, and, you know, you can't separate them at this stage. It's almost as if they're Mr. and Mrs. Quintellier at this stage.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you know, you get what you give when you come into a race like this. I know that I'm not going to have a Mrs. Quintellier anytime soon, so I know I can be very happy in declaring other things, but Bamber still trying to be that man on the aggression, still trying to be the man who's trying to hold off everything else, but behind that, Sonny Kachin has one final lap when he crosses the line. The white flag will soon wave on a perfect season. Here comes Derek Holland then. He's going to go the long way around, but he knows he's got one more chance after this. Even if he can't get the move sorted, he'll try and go up and under, try and really maximize the run here through 2, get the chance through 3, and he does so beautifully. So he'll have a chance then into the Desquita del Lago. No real doubts about this one here, but he runs a little bit wide, 2 tires on the grass. Ryan Hunter-Ray again would be very proud for the second time in this broadcast, as we see again Derek Holland on the outside, unable to make this move. Defensive line taken now by the driver of Neil Bamber. He knows he's got to defend, but he's defending a little bit too early for my liking. I'm not sure where he's going to go from here. Irunom, though, he's under pressure. Gianni Quintellier sees the top 5 in his sights. He wants to take that top 5. And let's not forget this, Sonny Kachin's gap has just been halved by Travis Schwenke. So now Sonny Kachin putting his foot off the gas. I think this is the first time we're not seeing Sonny Kachin with gas. So keep an eye on Travis Schwenke. Schwenke could be stealing this one back unless they're going to go for the photo finish and the Le Mans style finish where everybody wakes up and everybody goes to see what is going on. Still no move though from Gianni Quintellier as he looks at Irunom, hoping to take the top 5. He's close, but he's probably going to have to rely on something like a drag race here. He's close, heading to Ferradura. He may take the last gasp move, and well, Irunom was very firm on the defense there. He said, nope, there is no gap. You're not coming through. But the difference now between Kachin and Schwenke, I have to say, is now under a second. The question becomes, can the driver, though, of Sonny Kachin go any further? He runs wide through Mahulo, trying to just maximize as much of the track as he possibly can, which is not necessarily the best strategy. Out of Heusinkveld then comes Kachin, and the question becomes, does he have enough grunt to get up this hill, because chasing him every step of the way, Schwenke is tucked in right underneath on the toe. He is a-coming, but I think he may just be too late here. I think it's going to have to rely on Kachin making mistakes, and I don't think that the tank's going to run out. Kachin, 10 from 12, almost impeccable, and that is how it's done. Schwenke comes home second, and it will be the Asbury lock. The Asbury lockout of a top 3 by hook or by crook. Pagnan made sure Irunom was there. But yes, the battle for 5th. Nom versus Quintellier. Quintellier's coming. Quintellier, I think, is out of time. Quintellier is trying. Oh, that is close. And he's stolen one. He's stolen it by hundredths of a second. And Nom, rightfully in frustration, is really, really incensed.
10th position, Bamber and Holland.
Well, the replay will get this one very, very quickly then of exactly what happened. It was close. It was close. Quintellier got him, and there's the freeze frame. Irunom was beaten on pace, and he has every right to be frustrated, though. But still, Bamber under pressure. Holland, if he wants to make this move and make it properly, you make it into Heusinkveld. You make it into the junction through the Bico de Pato right now here, Soup. This is the last chance, really, Derek Holland has.
Go through here. They get him out of 13. I like the position that Holland's in right now. He's about 4 or 5 car lengths back. If he can get a good exit out of 12, we'll be okay.
Well, he gets the apex. Yep. Absolutely beautiful, but I'm not sure he's set that up nicely, though, coming off of the exit. And in fact, he's losing ground. And look at that. Derek Holland, I think he's out of fuel. He is stuttering. Now look out for Lord Murray here. He's going to be coming up the hill, and he's going to be seeing Derek Holland slowing. I'm on the charge. I'm coming for you, but I think Derek Holland has just enough to hold off. He tried. Bless his cotton socks. He tried. He'll get home. Just. And that's 12th position, but that's a shame there. That was a battle that looked like it was really going to go places, Soup.
Well, at least he has his cotton socks blessed, so that's the good thing. We can report that McDonald got the best of Ursum. They finished 1 lap down, so we weren't able to show you that one as they got lapped by Ketchen on the last lap. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And I can also report that Joe McDonald does not have his cotton socks blessed. So that may be another time. We're going to step aside, though, here at the Global Sim Racing channel for just one moment. When we come back, all the fallout that we've seen from this fantastic race, and we'll get a lot of conversation topics to come for the season finale here of the MWT. The mad finish to the mad race of the mad season. And well, as mad as a hatter, some things, the more you try and change them, the more you put every single thing possible to try and make sure that someone doesn't win, the more that he is likely to win. Results then of what has happened from the final round at Autodromo José Carlos Pace are as follows. Sonny Kanchin wins. It's 0.2 of a second at the end. I think he was either A, slowing it down, or B, the fuel was a problem for the first time in a very long time. He beats Travis Schwenke by 0.2 ahead of Marcelo Pagnan, making it a very controversial Asbury Motorsports lock at the top of the field. Richard Worth takes 4th position ahead of Gianni Quintilier, amateur championship victory. On top of that, a top 5 finish as well. Irunon was incensed in 6th position. He slowed back. He played fair play. And that was very interesting indeed. And his comments Well, they are certainly ones to keep in mind later on in this one. Nick Disson finishes home in 7th. Tom Ratchey, the Bay State Hammer, good drive from him today, 8th to 8th. He went absolutely nowhere. Baz Schlob, though, the biggest mover and shaker of the day, 22nd to 9th, stunning drive. And Gene Finnis, well, the Genie only managed position 10.
We watched this battle between Neil Bamber and Derek Holland the whole 90 minutes. Bamber gets the best of it in 11th. Holland comes home in 12th. Lauren Murray in the Baker's Dozen spot earns the Clean Driver Award. Kip Stevens not able to get up to Quintelier, but nevertheless comes home in 14th position. Robert Valenga in 15th. Joe McDonald and Jeroen Ursum put on a nice show for us. McDonald gets the best of that one. Ursum right behind him. Max Wright, 1 lap down in 18th position. Sarah Dove, 2 laps down in 19th. George Dankirk, 2 laps down in 20th. And the only 2 drivers that really didn't finish, Dexter Castro, who we tried to talk to, couldn't get a conversation with them. Too bad. Dexter, see you for at least one more race next season. And Jupe Vilmanson in the 22nd position. Jake?
Yep, and you know what? I'll give it one more time. Dexter, do you have a copy?
Yes, indeed. I think I do this time.
Yes, he's found a photocopier. Everybody is saved. Dexter, how was your incident?
Well, my incident was just it was sort of giving up after spinning while trying to do calculations in my head. I was sort of in a no man's land. I was going to fall between Baz and whoever was behind him, and there really wasn't going to be much of a battle. But I was about half a lap short on fuel, actually, so I was going to have to do a little saving. And then while I was doing the calculations, I spun, and then decided I'd rather go watch Daytona.
Dexter, it's super. Your proclivity to procrastinate is incredible. When I was running the series and we had midweek qualifying, you'd always seem to qualify the last guy, and I had to change the charts every time. We had this streak going on. I wrote up a whole paragraph about the streak finally ended. I look up, there's Dexter Castro in the very last event. Man, you're killing me.
Well, yeah, I actually I thought this race was next week. So last night I realized that I had to message Jeroen and get myself in. But you know, it's good to at least show up every now and then. You know, I wish this series was the format it used to be, at the very least, if not the drivers and personalities that used to be. But I definitely miss the old format with the shorter configurations, the quick 6 and open qualifying. I think now it's just a parade around GP tracks in the draft sometimes. And I mean, there can be good racing to be had there, but you know, I definitely still enjoy showing up now and then. I had to show up so that I can be eligible for the Demo Derby next season, right?
Yeah. Demo Derby. Everybody likes the Demo Derby, but of course, the streak lives. You're about as famous in MWT as The Undertaker is to the WWE. So for you, you know, how are you enjoying Daytona then? Is it any good compared to the iRacing Daytona?
Actually, I that was half a lie. I only got to watch about 5 minutes, so I don't really know. Because then I came in for an interview and I couldn't find a photocopier.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, at least you found a photocopier now. So Dexter Castro there doing a fantastic job of holding everything together here today. What we're going to do, though, is, Soup, I'm going to give you Gianni Quintelier.
All right, we've been talking all race about it. Gianni, you were not supposed to be here today. How did you manage that?
Yeah, I brought my girlfriend at dinner tomorrow evening, so that's why I'm here today.
What is her name? Because we talked about her the whole broadcast.
Yeah, Lisa.
Lisa, happy birthday, and thanks for letting your man come and race with us. Nice job, boy. A top 5, and you were hanging on to the guys in the early on position there, doing your best to stay on that lead train.
Yeah, it was definitely very hard to follow those guys in the first stint. I was overheating my front tires, and in the end I had to let them go a little bit. But then the second stint I could do my own pace, and yeah, the tires were not overheating, and in the end I was even getting a little bit closer to reach it. So yeah, it's a very great race for me.
Well, congratulations on the amateur championship. Enjoy it. That's the good news. I think the bad news is, or you can look at it as good news, I got a hunch that come season 15, you'll probably that A will be taken away from your name and replaced with a P. So enjoy the championship while it lasts.
Yeah, thank you. But it was my goal anyway to get the pro next season. So
there you go. I think it's safe to say you'll probably be there. Congratulations, and we'll see you next year in season 15.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you later.
All right. And Lisa, thank you very much. Happy birthday. Jake?
I think Gianni will be very happy celebrating his victory, but I think his wallet will not be very happy after tomorrow evening. That much can be said. We're going to bring in Sarah Dove here. She hasn't had an opportunity to speak for the last broadcast, and part of that becomes down to the fact that everybody likes talking in AOR. Sarah, 2 days, 2 good results for you, but in the end, you know, you ended in technical difficulty, which meant that you were back behind for a bit.
Yeah, it wasn't really a great week for me, even in like real life either, because my car's broken in real life. But yesterday I missed the start and lost a lap, and then I got crashed into by someone. And then in the sprint race, I spun out of a position that I didn't think I had. And then in this race, I was had a top 10 in the bag and disconnected just for no reason. So
lovely. A traditional iRacing racing weekend then. But you know, you take it with a pinch of salt. You've had a good run here at MWT. You've had yourself some fantastic results up and forward. Are you going to be in this next sort of season next year for the next season? Are you going to be up there for season 15, looking to challenge for maybe trying to get to pro?
Yeah, I hope so. I think I can maybe not every race, but at least some races. I think I can challenge for top 10. But it should be good. I think I'll be doing the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League, which is alternating weeks from the Mazda, I think.
Ooh, we get a bit of oval action going on. So wow. She does everything. Soup, she's yours.
Oh, she's becoming a staple on GSRC. Sarah, congratulations and good luck to you in all the series that we will see you down the road.
Thank you.
No worries at all there. Sarah Dove doing a very good job. We're going to be incredibly quick, though, when we have to talk to Iru Nom. Iru, let's talk about Marcello.
Not really.
Boy.
No comment. That is something.
That's it. That's all you need from Arrow. That says it all.
That says it all. But I'm going to probe for more information. Iru, you know, you let the position back. That's not the way you wanted it to end, though, really.
Yeah, but there's nothing I can do, so I'm not going to comment on that. I'd rather talk about the race.
Oh, well, that's a shame. You know, have you read any good books recently or anything like that?
Errol, you did the early peel off again. You had the lead. You saw them gathering you up. You knew you were in trouble.
Yeah, I had the point camp to the third place, so there was no risk. I just wanted to do something else than everybody just following Sunny. So at the end, it didn't pay out. So.
Well, it hasn't paid off for you in the end, but, you know, a sad way to lose the crown in the end. But, you know, do you agree with the fact that Sonny was the better driver this season?
Yeah, definitely. I had some setup issues and my wheel issues and not so much practice. So I think that's the difference.
Well, sometimes that's the way it's going to be. Iru Nom then joining us from Team Bush Fink, but Sani Kanchin, 10 from 12. Is there anything that you can't do?
Well, I'd have loved if it was 12 out of 12.
Well, everyone would like it if it was 12 out of 12. I mean, not everyone can be Martin Kroenke, though. Sonny, yep. You've had this fantastic season. You know, you've really dominated. You've looked to try and take back your crown. You've taken it back with authority. And I think that this was more yours under lock and key than what it was ever going to be. Not only that, perfect Ironman season.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yes, I think how it went on since race one, I think I felt confident as it went on, and the flow and the rhythm and everyone involved in the race making it. It was pretty much more competitive than the last season, and that helped me. I think I had the pace this one for this season, and yeah, I'm just glad I'm here at the moment. So it's a good feeling.
It's a very good feeling. Very quickly, was it the fact that you were running out of fuel that Travis Schwenke closed you down, or was it the fact that you were going to slow down and give it a grandstand?
For Travis, firstly, I'd like to congratulate him. I think he moved up the championship and in second place. Congrats, Story. I just also want to say I was watching him in the mirror, more like seeing him fishtail around, trying to catch up to me. He did say that he had to go, unfortunately, soon after the race, so he isn't present here in the booth. But he did tell me to tell you guys to have a look at his outlap after the second pit stop, how he messed out and fishtailed out and stuff. So it was quite funny to watch. So I was just watching him pretty much.
Well, he was definitely watching. We were all watching. And of course, for you, you're looking to try and make history, be the man who has 4 MWT crowns. Not many people can get to say that they can try and make it to that sort of level. Is that your next challenge here in MWT?
Yeah, next challenge would be 4 crowns. To correct you there, Jake, it's actually 3 crowns right now, which is good. And also, I just wanted to say that's a great feeling. Like I said before, it was something for everyone after every race. Credit to you guys. My friends and family put up with me in real life here to showing them the broadcast, and they really liked who's Jake. Everyone else knew Sue from previous seasons, but fantastic debut here, Jake. I really appreciate what you've done so far and bring the whole GSRC crew forward.
No worries. Thank you very much for that comment. But just very quickly, I'm going to promise this is the last comment, and I'm just going to be very mad at me that I'm keeping going on. But you're now looking you are probably the best MX-5 driver in the world. You won the Raw before the 24. You've got yourself an MWT crown. The only thing left on the bucket list, arguably, is VLN for you.
Yeah, on that note, I just want to say this year's been off to a good start with the Raw and MX-5 this season. But I'm getting adventurous now. My mark is on the, I'm in the special events and GTE class, and trying out the other classes as well as the special events go. And hopefully, you'll see me on track there with the Asbury Motorsports team as we're all working together to be more adventurous and hopefully have some success going forward in that sense. So so that's about me. I think this year going forward.
Well, that's going to be very good. He's going to enter a closet to Narnia. How lovely for Sonny Kanchin. He's going on an adventure. We're going to say thank you very much for joining us, Sonny Kanchin. A beautiful race victory. And Soup, just a final quick word before we wrap up the season.
You want to understand the top 2 drivers? How about these 2 comments? You ask Sonny Kanchin about his season. He comes back with, well, it could have been 12 out of 12. You ask Errol Num about the incident. He has no comment. That really sums up those 2 guys. Very aggressive, very polite guys. Good job. I had a great time, Jake. I love working with you. Hope to do it again.
Yeah, I hope to do so as well. But with that, though, that's going to bring an end to the season. We've seen Interlagos incinerated indefinitely. We have seen the season come to a close. The curtains will close. The shop will be shut. We'd like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organising this series, putting in together some fantastic battles and contracting with GSRC to get us on the broadcast yet again. Thanks, of course, also have to go to Heusinkveld. Thanks to Heusinkveld, affordable simulators and software and hardware are always thought to be of limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver without having to compromise on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including a full-fledged cockpit environment with unparalleled realism, and they are also used by pretty much every major team in the sim racing realm. Heusinkveld solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in Formula Ford, GP3, GP2, and Formula 1. Now, these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better race car driver and get in touch today. Thanks also have to go to the folks at Tidal Influence and Eagle's Nest Tavern for their fantastic work sponsoring this series, along with the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. And of course, the original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
Last week when I was filling in with you, I could not say the words unparalleled realism. I still can't. Man, you blew through it like a real pro. With Season 14 of the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour in the books, negotiations are already underway with the Quality Racing Syndicate, who organized the tour, and GSRC. We expect to be back here in the very near future to bring you Season 15. Sliding across your screen right now are the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out, mark them down in your calendar. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Jake, close out the season.
And finally, after a long season, on behalf of the man on my right, Bill Soup Zahn, the man behind the desk, our director for today, Amjad Yamin, and the man who some say beat Sonny Kanchin using a Donkey Konga Nintendo GameCube controller, our camera guru, Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank you all for watching. So, until next season, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.